Okay, I think I'm live. I gotta get my camera on. Oh, wrong camera. That's the Boit Watch camera. There we go. Okay, I think I'm live. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Thanks for coming out for Dorunda Day. Good morning, Grace, wherever you are. Grace streamed on Kick yesterday. What else happened? Ruby streamed, I think more than one time. Did I watch? I forgot about the Jedi. I don't think I watched the Jedi yesterday. I did watch them the other day though, and I remember now. I said I didn't remember if I watched them the other day, and I did. They did. Joy did nunchuck content for the first time in a little while. VP still. VP had a great stream yesterday, in my opinion. She went to the. She was out driving around with Purple, and who's always fun. And then she was like killing his vape in the car while he was in at some store. Ruby cleaned her drain, yes. But she had another one too, right? Didn't she do another stream before that? Or another video or something? Or am I hallucinating? No, you know who went live yesterday was Bethadone Clinic went live yesterday for a little bit. So I like the VP stream. Unfortunately, she had rewind on, so I've got to wait. I got to reach out to her and see if I can get an unlisted link so I can... Thorpes were in chat trolling Ruby. Oh no. I want to get the hanging out in a parking lot with Vegan Patriot clip. What else happened? We caught up on Savvy Guy. We watched his latest one. Ava went live too. I don't get I haven't gotten a notification for. I don't think I subscribed to Ava though, to be honest. She comes up so much in my. There are some people who come up in my algorithm like so much. I don't even think about it. What else? Anything? Tony Yoman, was it yesterday? Tony Yoman did a live driving in his car. He was going to pick up some money from a tenant or something. It was like big. It was big John Galt vibes. Okay. Does anybody know what the deal is with the Kick VODs? Do they only stay up for so long, or am I missing a way to find like ones older than a couple days? I saw Miss Hazed in the Kick chat. Was that during the park scene? Man, my brain is like hard locking now, trying to think of what day this shit happened on. Oh well. Anyway, I don't think weather is not gonna allow to do my IRL that I want to do. But I'm like minorly considering maybe something like a quick one on Saturday, maybe. But again, it's all like it's weather dependent. But hopefully I can do like the one I've been planning early next week. It's going to be very exciting. Okay, Kick probably deletes the VODs. Okay, so then I'm going to have to start prioritizing getting the Kick VOD, staying like at least staying only like a day behind on Kick VODs then. What a disaster. What a bunch of great footage that's gone. I'm sure somebody has it, but like that long date night with Uncle Joe was a great stream. I need a slave to archive them. I don't have the budget for that. I also don't have the storage for it. I have very limited storage. Kick has really good clipping features. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, okay, so today's prime time is a little bit weird. George, in the order, has kept them in chronological order to this point, but for some reason he's put... that's the thing, Anand, that I think was messing it up, is that there'd be like a 10-minute live stream, and then a 20-minute live stream, then an hour live stream, like all on the same day, which you hardly ever saw on YouTube. Anyway, this is episode 36. I'm going to trust George that when he well, I don't know. Did George even make this playlist, though? We could really be going the wrong direction here. But anyway, this is episode 36, so we're going to watch 35 and 36 flipped. I'm going to trust the plan and go that way. So this is episode 36, The Bridge Cafe, and of course, Reflections, 1992. Well, I know, but I'm saying, like, do you think there's like a reason that they're put into the playlist this way? What if this is like part of the? What if this is like a Dorunda-ism? What if there's like a secret meaning to flipping the two? He reminds me. You remember that old Disney cartoon about that had like all the like Mason references and all the like cult and like occult mystery stuff. I can't remember what the name of the show was. He reminds me of like the grandpa type character. I assume everything George does is like layered with like esoteric storytelling.
From anywhere we want to be, it's Prime Time with George Dorunda. Tonight, that great band Reflection, plus Doug Del Monte at the Bridge Cafe, where we sample all 27 varieties of pizza.
What?
So get ready for the most entertaining show on television.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to Primetime. And a lot of you viewers may be tuning in just because you're bored. Well, just sit back and relax, which is part of being bored, I guess. And then again, while I may not be President of the United States, I am Chairman of the board. But something that is not boring at all is sampling pizza. 27 varieties to be exact.
Board.
So let's head over to the Bridge Cafe in Chicopee and meet Doug Del Monte. Well, Doug, welcome to Primetime.
Thank you.
And I've been in and out of these doors
This guy could pass for his brother. He's also got some Mean Gene vibes.
thousands of times.
That's good.
And well, that's the way.
That's good.
That's the way it's supposed to be, isn't
Right.
it?
Yeah.
Now, this wasn't the original location of the original Bridge Cafe.
No, we were down on Chicopee Street, almost in Hoyle.
You have quite a history, don't you?
Yeah, we've been around for a while.
Now, how did it start? Were you around at the very beginning?
I absolutely love that they're sitting. I know it's probably like a out of necessity, but I love the fact that they're crammed into this tiny booth together, and that George is like is spilling out into the aisle.
No. I was around, but I wasn't
They're gonna eat all this pizza in like such close quarters.
making pizzas at the time. My father started the Bridge Cafe in 1955. I used my grandmother's recipes for her
Anybody know if the Bridge Cafe is still open?
dough and her sauce. First he just owned a bar and decided to start making pizzas for his friends to see how they liked them. And after he kept giving them away and finally found what people liked, and then he went into business.
And that's how some of these unusual combinations have developed over the years.
Yeah.
And we're going to be sampling every combination here today.
Every kind that we do. Plus.
We have a surprise later.
Right.
Wow, plus.
And going back to the early days, it was pretty much a family operation as it still is today.
Yeah, back then it was all family. And my uncle worked the bar, my mother and father worked the kitchen, my grandmother worked in the kitchen. That was when we first started. And it was all family. My older sisters worked there.
And there was an unfortunate incident, or was it a fortunate incident because of your new facility here?
As things turn out, it was fortunate, but at the time it was devastating. You know, we were
This guy's brother fell into the oven.
there for a long time, and we were very comfortable being there. It was
And it was around 1977 you had a fire.
in December of '77. Yeah.
And at that point, did you ever think you'd reopen?
At the time when we burnt down,
Look at this really nice cryon. Wow.
at first we didn't know what we were going to do. My father thought about retiring and getting out of the business.
And you were getting into the business?
Yeah, my mother's the one that pushed us. My mother pushed it along and said, we're too early to retire. They had this piece of land. He had bought it like 5 years before that. And they said, well, we're going to go move up there. We rented down at the other location. We didn't own the property down there. So it might have been a blessing in disguise.
And took some time to build the operation
Yeah, we opened
up.
it January 31st of '78.
And most of the same customers followed you in?
Yeah, they were waiting. They'd stop by before we opened when we were building, asked when we were going to open, and we never advertised. We didn't want we didn't want to get hit all at once. We wanted to make sure everything was working right, and so we just opened the door on one day, and we were mobbed. We ran out of food. We never did that.
You ran out of food?
Yeah, the first day we just didn't. We did enough prep work that would usually take us through a week of work. You know, getting stuff in and getting things prepared. And when we got hit that first day, just by turning on the lights, we didn't advertise at all. Just by turning on the lights and opening the doors, we were going crazy. We just couldn't keep up with it.
The bridge, but not near the bridge.
Right, yeah, we're still a bridge.
Now, in the old days, you used to do the dough pounding by hand.
Yeah, with my grandmother, when we first started, my grandmother used to have to stand on two boxes to reach the table, so she could lean over with her rolling pin and roll the pizzas. And
But that has changed.
yeah, now we have a machine that you put the dough through, and it's set to a certain thickness, so all the pizzas come out the same thickness.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because I remember getting Bridge Cafe pizzas going back to the 60s when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the consistency has remained the same, and I'm sure help has changed over the years. How do you maintain that consistency?
Family still makes the sauce. You know, that's your main ingredient. You know, your sauce and your dough. It's still family. Still use the same recipe.
Well, we talked to the lady from Causes the other day out at the expo, and they had some like family drama around their business, but there's another business in this area that has like 2 families that each run one restaurant with the same name. I wonder if we could get both sides to tell their story to a random stranger for the internet.
Same recipe.
Yeah, same recipes we had back then. We haven't changed a thing. The only thing that's changed is a little bit of automation that we've put in.
54 views on this. George is eating every type of pizza in 54 views. Come on.
Like in the dough rolling machine, and now we have an oven, a conveyor oven.
But because of the machine, that maintains the consistency of
That
the
helps
dough.
make it even better. You know, the dough's still made fresh every day. So, you know, and when you put it through, it comes out the same thickness. You can get a thicker pizza if you want. You know, if you prefer a thicker pizza than what we make, we put more dough together and we just open the rollers wider, and we'll make it thicker for you. There's no problem with that, and we do have people that order that way, but we found the thickness we use, people have got used to.
So in the early days, in like the mid 60s, early 70s, how many pizzas were you cranking out?
We were doing about 1,200 a week back then, in the early 70s.
And today?
Today,
Okay, so in the 70s, they were doing 1,200 pizzas a week.
somewhere around 2,000, a little
Now
more.
2,000?
All depends.
So are you ready to put up on your sign millions and millions sold?
Millions and millions. I'm sure if we sat back and counted them, there would be millions. But, geez, that's a lot of pizza. You know?
Well, Doug, through the magic of television
Oh,
and through
they
the
cut
magic
it
of
the
your
good way,
ovens,
too.
we have our first sampling of pizzas here. I think I'll be rating these as we go along.
Oh, this
it's
would
going to
be
be
so much
difficult.
fun.
You'll be full by the time.
But we have first your number 1, which is
tomato and cheese.
tomato and cheese.
Mozzarella.
Then over here we have
Mozzarella cheese and anchovy.
now anchovies. I'm not an anchovy fan myself. How many of these do you sell?
We sell a lot of anchovies.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people
It's a
like
popular pizza.
them. A lot of people like anchovies on another combination. You know, the anchovy pizza by itself is probably a little strong.
Well, how many anchovy solo pizzas do you sell?
Not many. Maybe about 4 or 5 a week.
Oh, 4 or 5 out of 2,000. And this one right here, we have mushrooms and
On one side is a number 3, which
George wants all the kinds he doesn't like to just be removed from the menu.
is olives, and on the other side is our number 4, which is mushrooms, tomatoes, and cheese.
okay, hey. Well, we're ready to dig in here.
Okay, start.
So we'll start with the cheese. We'll see where this one rates.
All right.
Well, that was kind of average
Average.
with cheese and tomato sauce. So we'll have to rate that like right around 13 or 14.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we should
I
be,
wonder
maybe we
how
should
you're
be
rating
keeping
these.
track.
Yeah. What's
Well,
gonna be-
it's George's preference.
George's preference.
Next, let's go with the anchovies.
Okay.
Now,
Oh,
I
here we go.
admitted that I am not an anchovy fan.
They are good.
However,
We're gonna try them all.
we're going to try them all. Anchovies. Tell you what, Doug, anchovies This is like number 26.
You know that already, huh?
We have
Yeah, that was an interesting statement from George. Do you think all of the like local fame is starting to get to his head a little bit?
to move that down in the rating.
Well, by the end of the day, might be number 27.
Well, we heard about a little surprise you have for us, but definitely, I mean, this is not. This is definitely a number 26. We will move on.
Oh, okay. Number 3 is olives. Olives, tomato, and cheese. But that's another thing that a lot of people put on a combination.
Yeah, I'm sure
That
that
was amazing.
is a little bit better than the anchovies.
Well, it's your preference.
It's my preference. So you're going to add to your list a George rating.
Okay.
Let's go. Here we go. Olives.
All leaves. Oh my God!
You gotta like
Wow,
olives to like this pizza.
dude, he is shitting all over this guy's pizza. Wow.
See, we're starting slow. We're building into the bigger stuff. As we get higher in the numbers, they get
more and more exclusive.
Right.
And unique.
and unique.
Now, I'm sure a lot of people like mushrooms.
A lot of people do like
You
mushrooms.
probably sell a lot of these pizzas. I like mushrooms myself, so I'm sure this is going to be rated a little higher than the anchovies.
a little higher than the anchovy.
Hey, Pomp Flare. Yeah, I don't. Maybe he thinks he's like he's got to be like he's got to really take this food criticism seriously, even though he hasn't to this point in any previous things. This guy made him 27 pizzas. Like, holy shit! You think it's a personal grudge?
And the olives. By the way, the olives, we'll put those in there at probably around 21.
21? Okay. I would have said more like 25.
Oh boy.
Don't forget, you're coming into a lot of good stuff now.
Well, we'll have to make adjustments
Okay.
as we go along.
All right, you got a lot of good stuff coming up.
Would it really be ranked 21 out of 27 if he's going back and like finishing the slice when he's got 20 some more slices to go?
You know, Doug, why we always enjoy doing these food segments?
Why?
Because myself and the crew always get to eat for free. and I think Jeff is getting hungry here. Jeff! What? Mushrooms. I'm getting a plate. Okay, moving on. Doug.
Moving on.
We have a new display in front of us.
Display. Yep, this is a pepperoni number 5 and Canadian bacon number 6.
Now, how did you come?
George is like, I've been eating this pizza since I was a kid. Wow, this pizza sucks.
With Canadian bacon.
And it stayed consistent, he said.
We started getting a lot
No
of
Michelin stars.
people asking for it.
We're gonna do a 5 first,
Right.
which is
Peppers and pepperoni.
peppers and pepperoni. Hey. Next is number 6 here, Canadian bacon. It does sound sort of tempting. By the way, peppers and pepperoni, though, that's in the teens somewhere.
It's in the team somewhere.
Canadian bacon.
Right.
And next we have one of my
You know what, though? Another pioneer, One Bite Pizza Reviews. Good eye, by the way, yes. That was a good catch. Also, on top of that, he is one of the first influencers to show a complete sense of entitlement and lack of appreciation to someone giving him free product to promote.
favorites, and I'm sure it's one of the favorites here. It's a number 7.
Right.
I could recognize it.
Tony Yeoman fighting 27 slices of pizza.
The most popular pizza we have.
Would you say 50% of the pizzas are number 7s?
Right. In one form or another, some people take off the peppers or take off the mushrooms, but
It's usually,
that's
A
our
number
biggest
7.
selling pizza, right?
well, let's have one of the all-time favorites. Well, combination rates right up there, and
Next is
I think that
sausage.
looks good.
Sausage,
Sausage.
tomato, and cheese.
Now that dude, you got to give him one thing. If you like saucy pizzas, this dude is generous with the sauce for sure.
Right.
now, your own homemade sausage.
Right.
The homemade recipe.
Homemade recipe, right. We buy the butts and we grind them and we put our own seasoning in.
Well, is this hot or sweet sausage?
Sweet.
It's a sweet sausage. Well, homemade sausage.
Sweet sausage.
Now, Doug, I understand your real name is Frank,
Right. Frank Douglas.
but why are you called Doug around here?
My father's name is Frank too, so to avoid any confusion when the people would call and ask for Frank.
In the early days, there was a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
And then some people refer to you as Del,
For Del Monte, just short, Del.
and some people probably call you Monty.
Not many. A lot of people call us a lot of things. But
I think this guy is really open to George, though. He seems to be, I mean, honestly, he's being a really good sport considering George's like reactions, but he seems like he's kind of excited to be doing it.
When you're working in an establishment like this,
when you're working behind the bar, people want your attention. They'll tell you what they remember you by.
and what I remember you by is our next combination in front of us,
Hamburg.
Hamburg.
Okay.
Pretty generic, Hamburg.
Hamburg.
Now, is there a reason why you have single items on each pizza?
As we get up into the numbers, or when people order, it's easier to order by number.
What is going on with George? He's like, now you have why do you have just one topping on a pizza? It's like because some people only want one topping, George. Goddamn.
And it's easier to write them, so that they're the orders are written easier and hung in the kitchen. That's why So if you want a combination, you can order a number 7, or you can order a 4, 11, 12, 9. But a number 7 covers the whole thing.
Oh, so I could order a 7 and a 22.
You could.
Create your own combination.
Right. You can order anything you want, any of the numbers together.
And it's easier by the numbers.
Easier by the numbers, right.
And Doug, the next combination, or it's not a combination,
Another single item, cooked salami.
something different.
Something different.
You don't find this just anywhere.
No, but I imagine somebody liked it, tried pepperoni, and thought they'd like it on this, and they ordered enough, and we put it on the menu.
And they wanted something a little more mild than pepperoni.
Well, yeah.
Hey, Jeremy. He might, man. He has pretty good eating eye contact.
Okay, Doug, the next creation, number 11.
Number 11, peppers. Peppers, tomato, and cheese, and number 12 on the other side, pepperoni.
Well, let's go for a peppers.
Let's go
Classic
for the peppers.
pepperoni.
Now, how many of you saw that just have peppers? Probably more than just anchovies.
Probably more than just anchovies, and not as many as just mushrooms.
Oh, pizza remnants here.
Remnants.
Now, Doug, we understand these are award-winning pizzas.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Pepperoni covering the entire pizza.
1986, we were named in a national magazine, Pizza Today, as one of the top 10 independent pizza places in the country.
Now, wait a minute, they have a magazine
Today.
out? Pizza Today.
Pizza Today.
Something you can't find on your average newsstand?
No. It's when you belong to the organization.
It is a trade magazine.
It's a trade magazine.
But one of the top 10 in the country.
Independent places in the country.
And our next combination?
Number
Or
12.
Not combination?
Not combination. Number 12, pepperoni, tomato, and cheese.
Always a
ahead.
favorite. Is this like the
Oh.
wait a minute, what happened here?
Yep.
Is this like the second most favorite pizza?
Close to it. It'd be close. Either that or when you put sausage on it. A lot of people like sausage and pepperoni.
We'll be getting to that.
We'll be getting to that one.
Hey, ATF Media. So George was the first to do the one bite pizza review. He was the first influencer to show a complete sense of entitlement and lack of appreciation for free product. And he's innovating in the mukbang genre. 27 types of pizza.
Well, Doug, we have another variety here.
Next one is onions, tomato, and
And
cheese.
I'm losing count. My head is beginning
Number
to spin.
13. We're halfway through.
No, number 13, onions. Now, is there some truth to the fact that if you put onions on a pizza, the cheese will never burn?
Pizza Today. We can't find that on just any news shelf, right? I would read Pizza Today.
Yeah, because it's moist. And
Because of the sugar content in the onions, too?
yeah.
Well,
There's a pizza place about an hour from here that has really, really good reviews. I haven't been there, though, in like probably 10 or 15 years. I don't know if it's still there or not, but if it is, we should go and do a IRL from there.
let's try it. Onions.
Let's try it. And it's not burnt.
Onions, and it's not burnt. So I was right.
Truth to the fact.
Next we have
Ham, tomato and cheese.
just like a ham and cheese sandwich.
Terrific.
What was the state of frozen pizzas in '92? Would Tombstone would have been around. What about Frischetta and DiGiorno, though? Would they have been around yet in '92?
A little different.
I'm trying to think of like what you would like. We haven't always lived in this golden era of frozen pizzas. Like frozen pizzas used to suck,
Than Canadian bacon.
Yeah,
except for Tombstone and a couple other like decent brands.
it's not as spicy.
I'll be the judge of that.
You'll be the judge of that.
I'll be the judge of that. Okay, Doug. We're working our way through. Now we're halfway there.
15.
We're more than
A
halfway
little
there.
bit more than halfway. Number 15 has hamburger and onions. And then number 16 has mushrooms and peppers. Now, we're starting to get into some of the smaller
A little
topics.
more exotic, but still, I think we can handle this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what does he want? What's he want on the fucking pizza? He's like shitting on every topping. He's like, oh, who would have pepperoni at a pizza place?
Hamburger and onions.
Hamburger and onions.
Well, Doug, we have the next generation
The next generation, the next owners.
of Bridge
Oh, don't worry, South to West. He's just you've only missed the first half of 27 pizzas that George is eating.
Cafe, and we have, who are they?
Anne
And
Elizabeth.
are you excited to be on prime time?
Yes.
Or don't you even want to be here?
Come on.
What's your
She's excited.
what's your favorite kind of pizza here at the Bridge Cafe?
Pepperoni. Plain.
Plain pepperoni and hamburger.
Right.
Well, I guess pizza's for everyone. I mean, you don't like any of these pizzas with the fancy stuff? Well, I'll admit myself, some are good and some have been questionable.
Yeah, Red Baron was decent and Tombstone was decent. Totino, I don't know what year they switched. They don't make, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Totino's pizzas don't actually have any cheese on them. Like, I don't know when they switched that over, but I remember when Totino's got bought out or took over Gino's, who used to make the tiny, back when they were round, before they went to the dorm room toaster oven shape they are now.
Questionable.
And what changes are you going to make when you take over the business? Are you going to fire Dad?
No.
No?
Well, one's gonna fire me.
We got a no and a yeah, but who's going to be in charge? That's the question.
I think the one that isn't going to fire me yet.
So you don't want to eat, you just want to sit there and...
Yeah, I mean, like at Kroger, if you pay halfway attention to what's on sale, you can get like a regular frozen pizza for like barely more. I think like Red Barons this week at Kroger are $3 versus $2 for Totino's, and like there's such a jump in quality between those two brands.
and watch us eat.
Yeah, it's fun. Good. I want to eat the crap.
It's twice as much fun if you're doing it.
Right.
Okay, Mexican pizza. Now this one could be dangerous. We don't know. Is it going to be up near the top of the ratings, or down?
It's good.
Or
It's
down
really
near
good.
the anchovies?
Oh no, nowhere near the anchovies.
I'll be the judge of that.
This guy's cooked and fed George 20 pizzas and he hasn't liked a single one of them.
That's true.
Okay,
Oh,
Hawaiian pizza.
Hawaiian pizza.
I don't know about this one.
Try some, Daddy.
Sure. Have a piece of Hawaiian.
This whole time, George is like, oh, I want an exotic pizza. I want an exotic pizza. And he gets a like halfway exotic pizza and he's like, oh, I don't know if we can handle this.
Now tell me, Doug, the next one is really exotic.
Yeah. Tuna fish.
I don't think I've ever seen or tasted a tuna fish
Whoa, 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 whoa. Tuna fish on a pizza?
pizza anywhere.
It's a first.
Are you the only one in the country?
Probably. Probably.
Oh my god.
But it's
I can't
delicious.
imagine
Try
eating
it.
that.
You'll like it.
Tuna fish pizza? Well, hey. We will find out.
Which one? We can have that one.
Number 20, steak, mushrooms, and onions. Tony's special.
And why is it Tony special?
My father had a friend named Tony Fragamini. He used to be the head of maintenance at Hamden Brewery, or Peel's Brewery, years ago. And this is what he liked on a pizza. So we named the pizza after him.
Well, if it's good enough for Tony, it must be good enough for us.
Right.
Did you see the wheels turning in George's head? How can I get a pizza named for me?
Just pretend that never happened. And why is this Mike's special?
The bartender at the old location was my mother's brother, Mike, and that's what he liked on a pizza.
Was that Skinny Mike?
Yeah.
I remember him.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh,
Mike
wow, he
Stackman.
remembers it.
And this is what Mike liked.
This is
Skinny
Mike's.
Mike.
And we'll see if George likes it.
Chicken strip pizza. That's it.
Well,
no, it's not. It's not.
We could dub it Jeff special.
We could dub it Jeff special.
Jeff likes chicken.
Right.
And let's see if George likes chicken. I've never had chicken on a pizza before. Again, another first.
Tony Fragamini.
Number 23, we're working our way through meatballs.
Oh, no, I'd like that one.
What is number 24?
Sausage and pepperoni.
Sausage and pepperoni.
I mean, this is a mukbang. This goes past, like, food sampling. When you're eating 27 pieces, like 27 varieties of something, it's a mukbang, for sure.
Why is it a Louis special?
Because it's got sausage, mushrooms, and onions, and no sauce.
Hey, what's up,
Louis
Maxim?
was allergic to tomatoes, so he couldn't have sauce. So we put it on the menu, and we have people that are allergic to tomatoes that order this.
So anybody who's allergic to tomatoes, we have a pizza here for you.
Right.
Louis special.
This guy's he's eating 27 different varieties of pizza.
This one's for you, Louis. Doug, do you think we made it?
Man, look at this
is
guy.
it.
Wow.
26.
It's been a tough journey, but this is number 26.
Right. There.
Why do we keep spinning it?
I'm putting the bigger parts near you. You've been eating the bigger parts all the way through.
Is this like the lottery?
Oh,
looking for
wow. Did you pick up on that? He told him he was spinning the thing around because George kept taking the largest slices, so he wanted to make it easy for him.
Biggest piece for you.
Okay. And what is this variety?
Sausage, pepperoni, and hamburger.
Sausage, pepperoni, and Hamburg. It's not named after anybody because after 26, nobody cared anymore, right?
It's called cheating.
Well, Doug, we worked our way through 26, but what's this I see in front of us? Because I thought you only had 26.
Right, but this is for you. This is what you wanted on it. What did we put
George's
the combination
special.
in here?
This is a number 7.
Right, with extra cheese,
Extra cheese.
bacon, regular bacon,
Yeah.
and chicken.
My combination.
This is your combination.
This is a
Wait. Okay, did he try the chicken pizza and he liked it and so he wanted one? Or did he am I missing something? I thought he said he'd never had chicken on a pizza. He must have really been into it.
prime time combination.
Yeah.
Well, Doug, thanks for being on Prime Time.
You're welcome.
This certainly has been a unique experience. I'm sure,
didn't even eat it.
I'm sure for all of us, and hopefully we won't be doing it again real soon.
Real soon.
Nothing personal,
Next week.
but we're gonna try and finish off this Prime Time special, a new number 27 here.
Can't believe we had Hormaxer in chat for a George Dorunda mukbang.
We'll be back with more Prime Time right after this.
Tuna fish. Oh my god. You should check out Del Monte's Bridge Cafe. Oh, I'm sorry, Bridge Cafe.
When I first got my license, every time I left the house, my parents
not
would
this
say,
lady again.
"Remember to buckle up, dear." But I never did. Just didn't seem too cool. Besides, most of the time I was only going around the block. You know how parents are. Always telling you what to do. You know what? I wish I'd listened. I really do.
I think the only copyright claims I get on Primetime are from the songs that come up from like Reflections or whatever. All of George's music is on, it either doesn't claim it at all or sometimes it'll claim it and like do revenue share, but that's pretty rare. The Bridge Cafe has closed down and got 1.8 stars. Oh no. We're gonna send the Thorpes there if they ever go back to New England.
Yes, 27 varieties of pizza. Well, I seem to think that worked out okay. Nobody got hurt, nobody got arrested. And my next guests on the program have been here numerous times. And here to perform that big band classic, In the Mood, is Reflection.
Okay. Hopefully we get the chick. Miss Hayes. You thought I was a mute? No, I'm a real big mouse. Jeannie was sung is dripping wet to start. She does seem pretty into it. Wow. This is kind of new, right? I don't remember him going to this much effort with the editing before, but maybe he's amping up his game a little bit. Oh, Jedi Rich. Rich, you just missed it. George Dorunda ate 27 different types of pizza at a cafe in 1992. And he gave zero praise for, he ate 27 of this guy's pizzas and then shit all over his restaurant, and then the place went out of business with a 1.8 rating on Yelp. Come on. Oh, these two are okay. Remember they had their big like what was it when he did the You Can't Touch This song? They had the big chemistry. Now they got him back out in proximity. No, he made a point of talking about how he was gonna get the pizza for free. What's up, BB? He said that was his favorite part of the job, was getting the free food. Love his hair. Jeannie was sung as such an erotic dancer. Look at her moves. Very classy. content. You think George was you knew who knew George was bulimic? He's on a big now. If you look at like where he's at today, he's in like a big health food kind of guy. I don't know how stringent he is on it, but he's definitely lost a bunch of weight. I've reached out to him a couple times and he hasn't gotten back to me, so I just like I just have to respect George Dorunda's isolation. When Genie was sung, I'd tear that up, man. I'd take care of Genie was sung, and then I'd run through 26 other varieties. What a weird video.
Yes, that great band Reflection. And one thing I can say about them, none of those extra hidden surcharges. No, 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 not with these guys. Just 100% top quality entertainment for you, the home viewers. And let's...
So did George run into somebody who he booked an act who tried to like charge him after the fact? That's kind of a very specific thing to say, that there's no hidden surcharges.
See, well, I think we're done here. Yes, we must leave the air now because we are testing some equipment. Good night, everyone.
Jeff Janik, he's in the band that we just saw. I think he's just living in the trying to grab any kind of cool place to be to make it a little bit more exciting. Who doesn't like to be at an abandoned rail yard? Ruby! Genie was sung. That whole stream was good. I tuned in while I think you were at the casino, and then you picked up Joy, and then everything I saw in that stream was, I thought that was a good stream, like start to finish. I don't know what happened. I haven't had a chance to look see what happened before that, but everything after you picked up Joy was all great, I thought. Don't get on Joy's bad side already this morning. Okay, so this is technically, well, I mean it is. There's no technically to it. This is 35. So I'm just respecting whoever put this playlist together, that there was a reason. Maybe they thought they knew that I would want to open with the pizza mukbang. All right, see you later, Rich. Tell Jedi Joy I said what's up to the postmodern Christ-like figure of YouTube, Jedi Joy.
Atkins Fruit Bowl in Amherst, Mass., it's Prime Time with George Dorunda. Tonight, lumber expert Jim
Remember when he made the girl at the sheep shearing like super uncomfortable and had to cut the interview short?
Caveney, the entertainers.
Oh, the
Plus,
entertainers.
we sample our 4 basic food groups here at Atkins. So get ready for the most entertaining show on television.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to Primetime. And let me tell you, if you've been waiting all day to watch
That's
a
all this
television
shit.
program, this is the one to watch because we're here at Atkins in Amherst, and we're going to be checking out my 4 basic food groups that you can find here at
Lumber
Atkins.
expert.
And let's see, starting off with cider donuts.
Oh my God.
Our famous
Okay, we've got to do. I think it's like a few hours away, but there's like an apple cider festival, in sometime in the summer, or maybe it's in the. Oh, I bet it's not till the fall. Oh, damn,
cider donuts.
that's a long
And
wait.
what better way
Or like
to begin
late
the show
summer,
than with
maybe.
cider donuts and the entertainers?
There she was, just walking down the street, singing to what
I think we already heard this one, didn't we? Are we at a repeat?
snapping her fingers and shuffling her feet, singing to what She looked good, she looked fine, she looked good, she looked fine, and I nearly lost my mind before I knew it. She was walking next to me, singing to what holding my hand just as natural as can be, singing to what we walked on to my door, we walked on to my door, then we
This could be a different version of it. The original one he did of this, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but it was kind of like, it was definitely, remember he had that run of performances with the entertainers where it was like really low energy. Maybe he wanted to like, he needed to like redeem the song or something.
just a little more.
This looks like a new place.
Was falling in love. Yes, I did, and so I told her
Oh, maybe not.
things I've been dreaming of. Now we're together nearly every single day, singing do what do. And we're so happy, and that's how we're gonna stay, singing do what do. Well, I'm hers, she's mine. Well, I'm hers, she's mine. Wedding bells are gonna chime. Well, I knew we was falling in love. Yes, I did, and so I told her all the things I've been dreaming of. Now we're together nearly every single
You'd recognize that empty field anywhere.
day, singing do what do.
Had we ever seen the backdrop before? I feel like that felt like a different, like, I don't remember seeing that before.
And we're so happy, and that's how we're gonna stay, singing do what do.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm hers, she's mine. Well, I'm hers, she's mine. Wedding bells are gonna chime. Yeah. Do what do, don't do. What's singing? Do what do, don't do. Do what do, don't do.
Yes, we're here at Atkins with the second of our 4 basic food groups that you can find here. And what is it? It's fudge. And stick around because we have 2 more food groups to go, plus everything you want to know about lumber and more.
To compete, you've got to be strong.
Oh,
To
here
win,
comes this thing.
you've got to be smart. Maybe you can be one of us, the few, the proud, the Marines.
What's up, Rush Limbaugh's running this
Okay, our third basic food group here at Atkins, it's
Famous apple pie.
famous apple pie.
There you
one? Oh,
go.
my gosh.
Delightful. And my next guest is a lumber expert. Yes, let's meet Jim Caveney.
You guys gonna pile those back up?
Oh, here we go.
Thank you.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, how are you, George?
I'll be
Welcome
right
to
back.
Primetime. And we're interrupting your workday here at Springfield Lumber.
Well, the day's almost over. It's after 5, so we'd like to wrap it up pretty quick.
Well, we're coming into prime time. And you weren't always in the lumber business.
George, as you know, I used to teach school, but I was a physical education teacher at Chicopee High, and you were my special student.
A special student? And hey, I did it all without steroids. That's true.
George, we figured after you went through our class, there was no more challenges left. It was time to go on to do another career. And
this is what you chose for a career. Now, did you work summers to get started in the business? How
No,
did you get your experience?
actually, I just, when I left teaching, it was without any idea of exactly what I was going to do. And I took a job at a lumber yard for the summer just to decide what I was going to do with the rest of my life, and I never left. This is where I stayed.
So this started out as a summer job?
Yes, yep.
And how long have you been doing this?
Since 1979, so 12 years.
Lots of experience. Now, have you noticed a problem with some of these plywood palace type places that have come onto the scene?
Well, they've certainly taken a little bit of the business from not only the lumber yards, but also the electric supply places, the plumbing supply places, the hardware stores. So yes, they've taken their share of the business, and hopefully they won't continue to grow as much as the other companies will start to take advantage of the special opportunities you can get at their places.
Well, how can you compete? Don't they sell everything cheaper?
No, George, they advertise a lot of things that they really do sell cheaper, but there's a whole bunch of items that we have specifically here that they don't even carry. And then there's a number of items, not only does my company, but a number of the other independents have, that compete very favorably. We can supply a lot of items that the plywood palaces, you want to call them, don't even have, don't wish to get into, and sell, quite honestly, at a higher price than many of us.
Now, would they be able to special order these items?
Anybody can special order it. Would they be willing to special order it? Depends on the size, the quantity, and the item. We have a policy here that if a customer deals with us on a regular basis, we will special order anything they want. What we look for is customers and repetitive businesses. The big people want you to come in there, spend your money, and leave. They're cash and carry, minimal amounts of service, where whatever we can do to help improve our customer situation, that's what we're here for. So if you want one item, of one piece of one item, if it's possible for us to do it, we will do it.
Now to average people like me, I mean, I always thought lumber is lumber. What are these specialty items? I mean, can you show us a few
Sure,
things?
Judge. As we go right over here, many of the companies specialize in certain products. A couple of independent lumber yards that we are very friendly with specialize in dealing with home builders. Another company might specialize in remodelers. And they have specific inventories that are indicative of that profession. Our niche in the whole market is mostly the industrial market. Industrials do two things. One is a lot of them do crating or packaging of the materials that they manufacture.
Do you think that's why they put episode 36 before this one, because of the mukbang, and now George is starting to get into shape?
Or that they sell. The other is that they have big plants, like a Monsanto, which does maintenance. They have a carpenter shop, and we supply them with a lot of products. But right here, we have all this pine. And this is called industrial pine. It's the lowest grade of pine that's usable and saleable. Many of the companies that make small boxes to ship parts or small machines, things of that nature.
Or even larger boxes.
Well, larger boxes, they tend to get a little bit better.
I don't need to do that. I could do it right here at the desk. I could sell it. No one would ever know.
Product, and then they go to plywood or wafer board or some other type of product. But the smaller products that they can use smaller pieces of what's referred to as an industrial pine, because there's a lot of knots in it, but it's very inexpensive.
Now what do we have here?
They don't want the general public to have this level of insider knowledge on quality of pine.
George, this is what's called resawn boards. What we do is we take a 2x board, 2x6 in this case, and we want specific lengths, and pine comes in different lengths, where the spruce board, and we saw it in half to make two 1-inch boards. or what's more commonly called as a reson board. This is structurally very sound. It's used in making.
Hey, Rich, have you ever been watching an episode of this whenever Mike Chuddy, the tire expert, is on? He's like my chat's favorite character.
Making pallets and boxes. And the biggest advantage is it all comes in one length, any length that the customer wants. Lumber normally comes in even foot increments. However, for our customers, we would give them whatever they'd like.
So again, the plywood palace type places, it's not likely to get that kind of a service.
Most of those people would never even know what this
integrity.
is, and I'm sure that they don't stock it. And over here, we have rough hardwood that came from a native mill or a sawmill located in western Massachusetts. We buy this and resell it to companies that make their own pallets or skids. A lot of companies make real big machines, and they have to have hardwood because when they set the machine on it, if it's soft, it actually squashes.
I feel like the fire truck tour element of the last IRL I did. Well, I guess I did the one at the library, but the one at the expo. I think that was that's my closest thing I have to like a piece of primetime content. I think because that lady was really surprised that I was in that. I don't think anybody else that day wanted to see anything else because she seemed really excited to be able to talk about the rest of the stuff on the fire truck.
Or squishes the wood.
So if they're sending a 2,000-pound machine overseas, this is what they'd use.
More likely a 20,000 pound.
A 20,000-pound
right,
machine.
The real big ones. 2,000 sounds heavy to you and I.
Rich, have you seen your emote that you in chat?
But that's not. In machinery, 2,000 pounds is kind of a small machine. But 20,000, 40,000. We have a customer in Worcester who sends machinery worth well over $500,000 per machine. They want something that's not going to fail. So they buy all hardwood just for skids. And their skids probably cost them around $400 or $500. But in the cost of the machine, it's more important that
I bet they would have south to west if I would have asked. I was just like, I was pretty out of it. And I was like, I wasn't expecting her to offer to do all that stuff. So, and I really did think the guy driving was a mannequin. So I was also kind of freaked out in the moment. But I bet they probably would have let me do the horn probably, even if not the sirens.
it gets there.
Now, all this looks like similar material.
Well, George, I'd offer you a job, but it scares me that what you're saying makes a little bit of sense.
So I actually know something about lumber.
Or you got a lucky guess.
By the way, I wouldn't want a job. I'd have to get up early in the morning.
I'd love to give you a job, George. By the way, I don't want a job.
Very early here. And maybe stay awake late at night.
That's not for me. Late at night, I could handle them.
All right, what we've got here, George, is all rough native lumber from the Western Mass sawmills and cut to different sizes. What we need to do is find out the customer's needs, because some need 2x4s, some need 4x6, some need 3x8. A lot of our customers have special needs based on their customers' needs. So they tell us that over the next 6 months, they're going to need 1,000 feet of 3x6. So we bring in 500 feet, and as they use it, we replace it with another 500 feet. And one of the problems we have with native lumber is that it turns a little gray. But our customers know that it's good, it's solid, it's well preserved.
It's expected.
It's part of the deal. That's exactly right. It's expected. We also will take this and cut the size, make it whatever our customer is looking for.
So there is a difference between local lumber and lumber that you import from other areas of the country.
In two respects.
I really like this segment. I mean, it's not the most exciting, but I do think it's at least, it's something I would have never probably seen otherwise.
One is all the local lumber is what's called green. It has all the moisture that it had when it was a tree, and it hasn't gone out of it. It's not kiln dried. And then the second one is this is what's called log run. It's not graded. All lumber is graded for either strength or appearance, except for log run. This is when they take the tree and they start slicing it up, this comes out of it.
I think I saw a porno one time called Log Run.
Over here, I've seen this type of wood before.
Well, you may have, but it's probably what you saw was on the older houses as roofs or ceilings and on porches, and it was a beaded fir ceiling. What we've done here is make an interior paneling.
It's like on my porch.
Exactly. but that's old time, and it was probably out of fir. This is pine. It's eastern pine from a mill up in Maine. And what they do is they put a bead in the middle, and then if you want to use the other side where it's smooth, you still have the tongue and groove and the V groove, but you have two options with the same board, either smooth or bead. Over behind you, George, we have more mahogany. It's used mostly by the pattern shops to make patterns, one-time patterns, and it comes in different thicknesses. As you can see, we've got it all over the place because it's a very popular item. Before we can put it away, we tend to sell it. But this is called 4/4, 5/4, 6/4.
Why is it in quarters?
Thickness. It measures the thickness. All 1-inch lumber is 4/4. 1.25-inch lumber is 5/4, on up to 16/4 or whatever thickness that you want. But the normal is 4, 5, 6, and 8/4 material. Mahogany is very common, but becoming more scarce and more expensive because the countries that it gets shipped in from are putting bigger taxes on it because of a number of environmental reasons and government reasons.
Uh-oh, tariffs causing problems in 1992.
This is one of the more unusual sidings that we carry. It's called novelty siding, and some of the old homes years ago had it. And I can show you the nice groove here, and it's a horizontal siding, and it sets one piece on top of the other. And it's very nice, very unusual, and I think we're the only company in Western Mass that has it, because we sell more to other lumber companies that are looking for it than we do to consumers.
The mahogany countries have been robbing us blind.
Now, what do we have over here above us?
George is irate about it, I bet. I bet he's so mad at these countries for raking us over the coals on the mahogany for all these years.
George, what we have there is 3x8 tongue and groove decking.
And what is that used for?
George is also like, he's pretty smart about it as an entertainer. He doesn't like overplay his hand, but you can definitely tell that he's probably a red pill type guy.
Two major uses. One is old warehouses that the floors are rotting out, and they have heavy-duty trucks, forklifts, heavy loads on it. They replace it with the 3x8 tongue and groove. The other is, you notice how you're getting a lot of construction in the streets. The different utilities companies are digging the holes. They have to have shoring, so they also use the 3x8 to keep the sand from allowing it to cave into the hole. And so we do a good job with that because I think we're the only company around that has 3x8 and 2x8 and 2x6 tongue and groove, mostly for the shoring business.
And it's all in stock, so immediate delivery.
Right here. And not to pick on the big plywood palaces, George, but I don't think they have this either.
Now over here, I noticed inside, Jim, you have quite a big operation. I mean, you could have a bowling alley in here.
Well, right now, we've probably got all the inventory that we need to get from now to the end of the year. So many of the items in here we buy in full truckloads. That way we only have to buy it 4 or 5 times a year. And
they're dumping all the pine
at a better price. If we have to buy small amounts, then it's more difficult to compete, especially now in the days of large wholesalers or retail wholesale. And so we have to bring up our purchasing so that we can compete with everybody else.
And what is this stuff over here that I've noticed?
Well, over here is 3 different piles of flooring. Bottom pile is red oak flooring, which every lumber yard, every lumber company, just about anybody that sells hardwood floors, that's what they're offering you.
So it's pretty standard.
It's very standard. It's a strip red oak flooring, and as you say, it's very standard, and that's what everyone has. What we have is a maple flooring, which is mostly used in industrial floors.
This is a much harder.
Well, it's not harder than the oak.
It's not?
No, it's maple and oak are equally as hard, but this is 4 inches wide versus 3 inches wide. And it's also what's called jointed, which is smooth on the edges,
the sound of
and
that.
in-match, tongue and groove match on the edges. What happens is when we replace old floors in the warehouses or the old office buildings, they were made with maple floors. And this will slide right in. Whereas if we had tongue and groove on all 4 edges, you couldn't get it in to replace it.
Yeah.
So we also stock the maple flooring in a tongue.
I agree, Ananje. I was thinking like to myself over the weekend when I was thinking about like places I could go and try to make content. I was thinking like, what are some of the things that people are doing now that they're probably not going to be doing in 25 years, there's got to be a bunch of little fields that are going to be more or less obsolete, or at least not done on like a small scale.
Tongue and groove for a
I think one of the big ones is graphic designer, but I don't really. But I mean, he had on the graphic designer guy, kind of. I mean, he was a painter too and an artist, but he was also like a graphic designer.
new floor, and jointed and in-matched for an old floor.
The sign maker.
And thirdly,
What's up,
we
Backwoods?
have white oak flooring, which is a specialty. I don't think that your viewers will be able to see the difference on television, but the whiter grain oak or white oak is just another hardwood.
George, I don't think the viewers of the, what are we at, 360p stream will be able to tell the visual differences.
And the grain is more pronounced.
Now, Jim, what do we have here? This looks like house molding.
Well, it is house molding, but it's oak molding. And oak molding sounds expensive. It is a little bit more expensive than your old pine moldings. But as people start to get a little bit more sophisticated, and they find that
I've watched a ton of like cable access shows over the years, and like there are a lot of them that I could watch like an episode here and an episode thereof, but I don't think I've seen very many at all that I could sit down. Like if I wasn't streaming these, like if we weren't watching them like weekly, I would have probably watched all of them in like the first few days. Like I just think it's a really watchable show.
they really are getting the house that they want of a lifetime. They want something a little bit more special.
Well, they'll spend a little extra on the options.
That's correct. And believe it or not, it isn't a lot extra. When you think of oak, you immediately think of thousands of dollars extra.
Thousands.
And to do a whole house in oak versus pine is probably $1,000 extra, not $10,000 extra. So a lot of people are really getting involved in it. It's also something, as you can see here, we stock a whole slew of it. We probably have the largest inventory of hardwood moldings in greater Western Mass. However,
am I wrong in thinking that if you can spend $1,000, which I know you couldn't do that now, but back then if you could spend $1,000, what's that in today's money? That's only like what, $3,000, $4,000? So if you could do that one time, initial upfront, I mean, why would you ever go with pine over oak? It doesn't make sense, especially if it's a new build.
all the independents have access to hardwood moldings and can get one piece or many pieces as you need. We've got casings, base molding, crown molding, another type of base molding. And we can have anything made. And that's another thing independents will do, is they can go out to companies.
True, we had that big run of, what's his name, Jimmy Sturr, who copyright claimed the last episode, the last stream that I did.
And supply lumber and have it all made up, special custom millings. I don't think that the, quote, Plywood Palace is interested in that type of business.
Plywood Palace.
Theirs is off the shelf.
That's my line, by the way. You better not use that. I want royalties.
I like it. It kind of describes a whole lot of people that we all know about.
It's a generic term for that
Very good.
type of operation. Now, this stuff here looks like extremely smooth plywood.
It is smooth, George. It's mostly used in the furniture industry and on floors. In the furniture industry, it's used as a backer. If you get cabinets or bureau, the back or the bottom of the drawers is usually made out of what this is called is Meranti or Luan mahogany or Philippine mahogany. Different countries that it comes from have a different name. And this is quarter-inch Luan plywood, which really isn't quarter-inch because it's all metric size. This is 5.2 millimeter.
Is it still match up with quarter-inch?
It's a little skinny. It's a little thinner than quarter-inch. Quarter-inch would be 5.5 millimeters, and this is 5.2.
Now, over here, Jim, it looks like we have boards for a picnic table.
Well, it'd be an awful expensive picnic table, George.
Something that even a star person like myself wouldn't be able to afford.
Wow.
Well, George,
You'd need to get, you need Carolyn Lee money if you're wanting to get a picnic table made out of this.
I know that you play sometimes at night and make lots of money. So, yeah, you could probably afford it, but I don't think you'd build a picnic table. This is the rough hardwood. It's FAS grade, which means first and seconds. It's the highest quality furniture lumber that you can buy. What we have at the top is 5/4. Remember, we did over there 4/4, 5/4. This is 1 1/4, thick ash. This is 4/4 wall.
I mean, is it kind of crazy? Like, I don't even feel like you could walk into most places anymore and talk to somebody who actually, like, knew something about the product aside from, like, what they learned during, like, their training or whatever. You know what I mean?
Walnut.
Like, could I even find someone to talk to me like George talks to these people? Like, I don't even know if that kind of knowledge exists anymore.
This is 8/4 maple. We have 5/4 maple, some more 5/4 ash, and I believe it's ash all the way down. And then at the bottom is some 8/4 oak.
So once again, the plywood palaces wouldn't have anything to do with stock like this.
The big
Tongue
change,
grooves.
George, wouldn't even
Mary
understand
Lou Dragon's
how to
groove.
count this or how to bill it out. Everything here has to be measured before it's billed out.
Big
You have to
cat
know
sneeze from
all the
everyone.
different formulas that they taught you in high school that you thought were going to be useless. Well, now you have to know board footage and square footage and thicknesses and all of that and wrap it up and the price and then multiply it out. They don't want to do that. They're cash and carry, and so they wouldn't have this product, nor do they ever want it.
Now, Jim, I've been wondering, you have all these many levels. Why do you have all this lumber way up on the top? Doesn't it make it harder to get?
George, it makes it a lot harder to get, and that's half of the purpose. That's the most expensive lumber that we have. It's called Clear Select Sugar Pine. And when it gets down to this level, it grows feet and it starts to walk right out. So we keep it up there. So
Well, so far, no one that I've reached out to has been willing to speak with me on camera, but I know there will be people eventually who will want to let me tour their businesses.
we can't walk very well.
I just need to go do it in person, honestly, because it's hard in an email to, like, I feel like if I was there, I could kind of, like, salve whatever concerns they had.
Amazing, amazing. And this is the stuff right here. Why
Yes.
is this down here?
This is pulled for an order. It'll be going out first thing tomorrow morning. So it'll be put on a truck later today, and away it'll go. And this right here is 5/4. You can see by the thickness, it's 1.25 inches. And all of it is virtually clear. It's from the West Coast, and it's beautiful stock. This particular order, I believe, is being used for custom molding in one of the commercial buildings that they're redoing downtown Springfield.
Now, Jim, over here, again, multi-levels, maple and cherry, or what is all this?
What we do for our customers is what's called dressing of lumber. We dress it on 4 edges.
Maybe. I don't know that any of the employees would be willing to come on camera, but I mean, I could just do a tour of the library. I think what I could do though is there are some like historical homes within a fair distance of here. They have like, you can call them and like schedule a tour, and then I could do that, I guess. But getting anyone like that's at a job to talk to you is really difficult because everybody's worried about like saying that they'll say the wrong thing, or like since it's online, like, it'll turn into a nightmare.
And that means?
That means, if you remember when we were talking about the rough lumber that they use to make furniture, well, for most of our customers, they don't have a planer, they don't have sophisticated machinery, but they still want to make cabinets or bookcases. Now, this piece of maple, have to look at it in a good light, this piece of maple has already been dressed on 4 sides. So it's a 1x12, much the same way we would sell pine, but we have it in maple.
It's all smooth on
Exactly. It's ready to be used as a shelf or a cabinet part or whatever it is that the customer wants to use it for. And behind you, the biggest seller for any of this is red oak. We
Red
have
oak.
1x4, 1x6, 1x8, 1x10, 1x12, up to 3 inches thick.
Is it more common?
Well, it's more common.
Like, lots of people, I think, are worried about getting canceled or fired or, whatever, that someone they don't like will see them, or that doesn't like them will see them in, like, a video or whatever. But so I think it's kind of difficult to get people to participate. But that's why I guess we'll just have to pick stuff like the expo and, like, things that have kind of, like, built-in social opportunities.
And people like oak. For years and years, cherry will come and go, ash will come and go, maple, but oak is always something that people always want.
Untreated wood? Yikes.
They use it regularly to make furniture or bookcases, and for every other piece of hardwood, we sell 3 pieces of oak.
Jim, this looks really impressive. It looks like this is actually pieced together.
It is
Okay, yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. I had another idea for IRL, but I forgot what it was.
pieced together, George. It's called laminated pine.
Also, more than likely, very expensive.
Well, a little bit more than the picnic table that you bought years ago. What it is they take small...
I mean, this guy's showing his entire operation from top to bottom right on prime time. I mean, the Plywood Palace could see it and use this information to run him out of business.
Small pieces of clear pine, glue them all together so that they can have wide boards. Multitude of uses, but again, used a lot in your
I'm going to upload this entire wood segment as a short.
industry in making stereo cabinets and things of that nature.
Really, speaker cabinets?
Yeah, they want solid boards, but wide. And if we used regular pine boards, they would cup with knots and many imperfections, and it wouldn't be any good for your business.
And this piece right here that I keep bumping into.
This is what we call a sugar pine again, but it's a number 2 sugar pine.
Sugar pine sounds nice. Do you think they make sugar walls out of sugar pine?
Used again in the pattern industry, much like the mahogany we spoke about earlier.
Ah, the mahogany.
It's the poor man's mahogany.
We're taking a
this
beating
is half
on the
the
mahogany.
price of the mahogany because it's got a lot of knots in it, and we can make smaller patterns from it, but we cut clear strips between the knots, and that's good enough. We do a lot with, as I say, the pattern shops in all of New England because there's very few people that carry this stock also.
Hey, King, how's it going? Oh, that's okay. It happens, man. Hope you're doing all right, buddy.
Well, Jim, I must say that you certainly do sell
You've been killing it on the panels. I've been seeing you making the rounds.
strong lumber. This is really strong.
You're putting it to the test, I'll tell you that, George.
It's the supreme primetime test, and might I say, you held up better than the unbreakable china that we tested over at the Big E a few months ago.
The Big E.
Well, this is structurally sound, and I don't know how much...
Pine taste on a mahogany budget. Or what about would Grace have mahogany taste on a pine budget?
And you could do, but you should be able to do it for quite a while.
Well, I do have one question. In this market area, do you think there is room for the conglomerate, the Plywood Palace places, as well as a small operator like yourself?
Yes, there is, George.
There's enough business for everybody.
Well, the big Plywood Palaces, and the new one in particular, is taking an awful lot of the market, especially in the recessionary times.
Okay, here we go.
However,
so this is how you can get an in, right? So one of these big places just opened there. So that gave George an opening because this guy's going to want to make his case to the people in this area like, hey, here's why you should come to us, you know, not to this big whatever. That's what I need to find. I need to find places in the market that are vulnerable and then that we can exploit that vulnerability for content.
However, most of the strong independents are doing just fine. And a matter of fact, I've talked to a few of them who...
George's wood is so strong.
Who absolutely are in favor of the big guys because they take care of a different type of service. They're the cash and carry of the world, where that most of my competition or the independents that are our size are dealing with specific customers day in and day out. We know their names. We know what they want. They come in. They have a problem. We take care of it. They're a regular, repeat customer. And that's what the big places tend to forget, nor do they even care about. They're one day in, pay the money, carry it out with you. We give service, and all the independents, not just us, we give service on a daily basis.
As Cornette would say, the Plywood Palaces, they can draw you a lot of money on one visit. But a place like Springfield Lumber, they're going to draw you solid money for 30 years.
We do delivery on the same day or the next day, and most of the big places aren't geared up to do that.
And even special orders.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit, damn it. Boutique clothes places. There's probably at least a couple of those I could reach out to. They would be interesting interviews.
Well, special orders are not special for us. That's a way of life for us. People come in and they want something we don't have.
You can still have it.
We have to get it. That's where we make all of our bread and butter, and that's how the customers come back, because the way we treat them.
Well, Jim, this certainly has been interesting and different on Primetime, and I want to thank you for being here.
Well, thank you.
And I guess now I can back up the van and we can go build a house.
Great segment.
Get right in. We're ready to go.
There are some places that unfortunately, and I'm not saying like specifically, but like there are some places that like I can't like that I just know the people are not going to be amenable to talking to me.
Yes, and finishing off with our 4 basic food groups here at Atkins, and what could be more appropriate than ice cream? We must leave the air now due to some laser experimentation. Good night, everybody.
Bob Simpson. Maybe I can do I can live stream a police ride along. Oh yeah, he's got his fingers in every aspect of the primetime pie. Atkins Fruit Bowl.
You know, Piggy, everybody's trying to save energy. What can...
Oh, this guy looks interesting. What do we have here? Okay, center stage. We've seen them before. Entertainers, obviously. Coffee. Okay. Uh-oh. New countdown. For info about lumber. Atkins Fruit Bowl is still in business? Wow.
From anywhere we want to be, it's Prime Time with George Dorunda. Tonight, we'll be exploring the world of gourmet coffee.
Dude, there's so much cool shit on Primetime that's in that area that you guys look up almost everything, all the businesses and shit, and a lot of them are still open, or they're like things that wouldn't close, like just neat locations. There's so much shit in that area to do. The Big E seems like an amazing place.
Plus, center stage and the entertainers. So get ready for the most entertaining show.
I gotta do IRL at Kroger and the public library.
On television.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to Primetime. And you know, I've been reading recently, and I discovered something, that nowhere in the Bible will you find anyone named Nipsey. Hey, what a show we have for you today. So let's start off the big program with center stage at the Love Shack.
Oh
If
my.
you see a faded sign at the side of
Hang
the
on.
road that says 15 miles to the
God damn, son. I can't.
Love Shack, baby. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Sign says, stay away, fools, 'cause love rules at the Love Shack. Well, it sits way back in the middle of a field, just a funky old shack, and I gotta get it back. Glitter on the mattress, glitter on the hallway.
Glitter on the mattress. Is that a Foot Girl reference?
Glitter on the front porch, glitter on the highway. Well, Love Shack is a little place.
My taste in sunglasses is completely rooted in like late 80s, early 90s, for sure. I have like, I don't know, probably like 40 pair. I have that. Well, I already have long hair, obviously, but like I have a wig that looks just like that guy's hair. That's like the mullet.
Love Shack, baby. Love Shack, that's where it's at. Love Shack, that's
They make the Love Shack out of the sugared pine.
hugging and a kissing, dancing and loving, whispering next to nothing 'cause it's hot as an oven. The whole shack shimmies when everybody's moving around, and around, and around, and around. Everybody's moving, baby. Folks lining up outside just to get down. Everybody's moving, everybody's.
This is my second favorite primetime musical performance ever, behind the You Can't Touch This. This is incredible. I gotta put this up as a short.
Funky little shack, funky little shack. I got me a Chrysler, it's as big as a wave, and it's about to set sail. I got me a car, it seats about 20.
No, I saw the stream where she was saying she was gonna do that, but I don't remember. I think I was like beyond the point of, I was past the point of no return for the evening. Like I couldn't absorb anything.
So hurry up and bring your jukebox money.
Hey, WTF.
Love Shack, baby. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Bang, bang, bang on the door, baby. Knock a little louder, sugar. Bang, bang, bang on the door, baby. I can't hear you. Bang, bang on the door, baby. Bang, bang on the door. Bang, bang on the door, baby. Bang, bang. Your one tin roof rusted. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Love Shack, baby, Love Shack. Love Shack.
These are a little bit closer, but they're off color lines. They're like a really string cobalt color. Amazing.
Yes, that was Center Stage and Love Shack, and we'll be right back
No
with more
alcoholic
primetime fun.
beverages.
Yes, something that's safe to drink, gourmet coffee.
this guy? Yeah. Hold on, I gotta get high during this message about getting high. Tin Foof. Yeah, tin roof rusted. I've got to pack my one hitter. I gotta hurry up. Made it.
Yes, welcome back to the big program. And you know, my next guests are coffee experts. Yes, they operate the Pioneer Valley Coffee Company. Let's meet Art Noons and Art Noons. I think that's junior or senior or something like that.
Art Newells and Art Noons.
Well, Art and Art, welcome to Prime Time.
Good to see you again, George.
Nice to see you again, George.
And let's see, you're
That looks like the guy that's in the band with him that plays the saxophone.
from Seattle.
Originally from Chicopee, last 11 years in Seattle, that's right.
And yet you have a coffee business in Chicopee.
That's right, that's
Now,
right.
now how did you, you're a businessman in Seattle.
That's correct.
How did you get into coffee?
Well, I think I'll let my dad kind of go into that a little
the
bit.
coffee idea came out of Seattle, obviously, because they're pretty affluent out there with coffee. We were visiting, my wife and I have been visiting out there for the last 10 years. And as it progressed each year, we see more and more coffee shops. We saw more carts on the street. It just was everywhere. And besides that, every time we sat down at a meal, Brenda or Art would make up a freshly brewed coffee with beans. So we bought ourselves a grinder.
No, they have coffee shops all over Seattle in the streets, and is it extremely popular?
So much popular that you're in a grocery
The rise of Seattle coffee.
store shopping, you have to have that latte.
The baseball games, the Mariners games have specialty coffee shops at the field. You buy a hot dog and buy a specialty cup of coffee. Some of the office buildings have 2 or 3 shops right in one building.
Yeah, definitely. King. The color's like pretty much dead on.
So is Seattle the coffee capital of the world?
I would say so, yes. Until now, where we're bringing it to Chicopee, and we're trying.
Yeah, Seattle had better look out. Chicopee is now going to be the coffee capital.
Trying to turn into New England's coffee capital.
So Chicopee will not only be the kielbasa capital of the world, but it will be the second coffee capital of the world.
That's correct. That's
Kielbasa.
correct. And if we have our druthers, perhaps surpass Seattle
Isn't Jedi Rich big into kielbasa?
in the future.
Now, when we talk about coffee, what's the difference between your coffee and, I mean, we can go to the supermarket and buy the little blue cans or little red cans with the genies on
Hey, what's all over the floor over? Is that? Oh, that's his cord, I bet, for the lights or something.
the front.
Right, the M word we call it in our business. Yeah,
The M word.
Yes, the Maxwell House. Whoops, I screwed up.
Maxwell House. And what's the other one? We have Folgers. Those are the ones that they come in with the hidden cameras.
Yeah, yes.
Did
And you've
Ava
hit on a
drink their
great
coffee?
point, George, because the coffee industry in particular is run in this country by 4 or 5 huge companies.
Yep.
Maxwell House and so forth and so on.
Cartel.
And they spend most of their time in advertising and conditioning the general public to drink their coffee through their advertising, and not as much time in providing a high-quality cup of coffee. Essentially, there's 2 different types of coffee beans available to make coffee from. There's called the Arabica beans, is the beans that we use.
Arabica.
And there's called the Robusta beans. The Robusta beans are easily cultivated. They're very...
I like the Arabica beans.
you can't destroy these beans while they're growing from weather and that type of thing. They're very hardy bean, and that's why they use the Robusta beans in many of the Maxwell houses and the big
Robusta.
blends.
So are those the better beans?
No, they're
Ruby
not. They're
Robusta.
better for mass producing a product and efficiently showing a lot of profit for a company, but they're not the best beans in terms of they're very low quality beans. The Arabica beans are used for people who really appreciate a fine cup of coffee, a very good tasting cup of coffee. But they're a lot more expensive to produce, and they're a lot more expensive to bring to market. And
Did you see?
what difference
Did
is-
you see the dirty look that guy gave me for wanting the harder to acquire beans? Come on, buddy.
Are we looking at in production values or production standards?
It's, in terms of production values and standards, we're probably talking about 2, 3, 4 times more expensive
Quit
to bring
looking
to
into the
market
camera.
an Arabica bean versus a Robusta bean.
It's a different procedure.
Well, it's number one, the quality of the bean itself. Just like in winemaking, there's 2 types of grapes. There's the vinifera grape that the truly fine wines are made from, and there's the Concord grape that we grow in like upstate New York for the lower fortified
Cody Turbo.
wines. And so if you're going to drink a Muscatel, you use the lower quality grapes. If you're going to make a nice Cabernet Sauvignon, you use the vinifera grape. And the same can be applied to the coffee business. So it's the Arabica bean that we really want to look for a fine cup of coffee.
And we couldn't grow those beans in this country.
No, we could try to grow them, but it requires specific types of climate. And my dad might comment on
Well, I'm not, right now, all Arabica beans meet the climate area, 25 degrees north or south of the...
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't there just like a belt? And all coffee is grown in that belt, pretty much?
Equator, really. So we just don't have the weather conditions here in the States. Now, Hawaii does have the ideal conditions, and they do grow an Arabica bean, and they use their coffees called Kona. So if you're over in Hawaii, ask for Kona.
Is it a Detroit pizza kitchen?
It's very expensive compared to other beans because of the nature of the process and so forth and so on.
Now, are there any other production standards that you have to adhere to produce that great cup of coffee?
Absolutely. Once we start with a high quality bean, it comes in a green bean form, and then the bean must be processed and it must be roasted to pull out the flavor from the bean. Because if I showed you a coffee bean, it's green and it's hard, it'd break your teeth if you tried to chew on it. It wouldn't make anything. So we roast the beans at very high temperature. We don't do it. We hire specialty coffee roasters. In our case, Seattle has about 20 specialty coffee roasters, and we do business with a company called Caravali Coffee Company, which Caravali is a specialty coffee roaster. So just like fine wine making, depending on the part of the world the bean comes from, depends on how long it's roasted, at what temperatures, that type of thing. So we have like 30 different varieties of beans we offer our customers, and so Caravali will roast each bean to perfection, and then right after it comes out of the roaster, they put them in these specially designed bags that have a specially designed vacuum seal or a valve. It's a one-way valve.
I just got two Pizza Uno deep dishes the other day.
This is what it is. And so once the beans are in there and they close it, it becomes airtight. And that's very important because as oxygen hits the bean, it deteriorates, it loses its flavor.
So it loses flavor immediately.
Absolutely. So as soon as it's roasted and comes out of the roaster, it starts deteriorating immediately. And the longer it's exposed to air, the worse it gets. Beans in a bag like this, technically could probably stay fairly fresh for over a year, but they never really stay on our shelves longer but a week or two because of the turnover of coffee that we sell. So the beans come to us like this in these 5-pound sacks. You can see some of the bins back there that we store them in, and we utilize those beans to make the brewing, the cups in our shop.
And you might note that on each bag and all our deliveries, we install the date it was roasted. So we know that to rotate our supply, we have freshly brewed beans all the time.
Are there any other trade secrets that we should know about?
Wow.
Well, nothing that we're willing to disclose, but we'll do it the best we can. So once we start with the bean, they come to us roaster fresh.
Those are good.
They're stored in these bags, as you can see in the top rows back there, until we put them in the bin.
They got those caramelized, they got the caramelized edges.
Bins that we're ready to sell them for home use or brew the coffee. So when we actually ground the beans, we will ground them right at the brewing time. We don't ground and put a cartload of these and let them sit there, because you smell how good that smells? I know you're not a coffee
drinker. Even though I'm not a coffee drinker, and that doesn't smell bad.
You know, I almost feel like running and getting a cup of coffee, right? Well, what you're seeing, though...
Quick.
Okay. What's happening here is it smells good, but unfortunately that smelling good is the aroma leaving the coffee, which means it'll never find its way to the cup and it's going into the atmosphere. So we want to grind it shortly before brewing. We put it into a...
Yeah, it is. It's a really chill interview. It's another accidental ASMR hearing about Chicopee coffee.
Deal like this. And we have a coffee brewer back there that this is installed on top of this pot, and it drips hot 190 degree water, and the proper temperature of the water is crucial, and it seeps through the grounds in here and into this pot. And Dad, maybe you can tell them a little bit about this pot, this air pot.
Well, the air pot is constructed so it will hold the aroma, the flavor, and the heat for up to 12 hours. And I've taken it home the night before and had coffee the following morning. So these are very well controlled.
So those are airtight pots.
Airtight pots.
It seems like the whole trick here is freshness.
Freshness.
Man,
That's what we
who
get.
doesn't love an airtight box?
Again, a quality mass production.
Yeah, really.
That's right. So if you ever go for a cup of coffee to a restaurant or a stand and you see them sitting with pitchers with the steam coming out, all of the freshness, all of the, if they had any freshness going into the bean.
Hi.
There's some latent coffee.
Yep, you'll air.
This is life,
they
folks.
didn't have coffee.
Oh, do we have to pay them for extras or what? See them sitting with pitchers with the steam coming out.
That again.
All of the freshness, all of the, if they had any freshness going into the bean.
Hi.
There's some latent coffee.
Yep, you'll air.
This is life, folks.
They didn't have coffee.
Oh, do we have to pay them for extras or what? I don't know.
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
So George is once again pioneering. He's upset that someone walked through his shot in a public location.
So basically,
Classic
now I
influencer.
lost my train of thought here.
Yeah.
If you see the steam coming out of the pots, that means it's losing its freshness. The longer you see that, it becomes a very bitter cup of coffee.
Well, as you see, we're geared to put out a fresh cup of coffee for everybody.
And a lot of people, incidentally, in their lives have never experienced a fresh cup of coffee. You yourself told me you've never drinking coffee, and I bet you a big reason is because you've never had a very freshly roasted cup of coffee.
Oh, wow.
So before leaving here today, we have another extra here. We're going to see if we can get you to sample one of our cups of coffee.
And back here earlier when we were looking around, I saw this vacuum cleaner machine that you had.
That's called an espresso machine, George.
It seemed like you were filling up milk with air.
That's sort of what we were doing. Basically, for a true coffee lover, one step further than a regular brewed cup of
This is This is honestly like legit. This is great content. Like this is such a like time capsule.
coffee would be what we call an espresso, or espresso cup of coffee. And what espresso is, it's a type of roast. It's a little bit darker of a roast. The beans are roasted a little bit darker to pull out more flavor. And it's also a method of brewing the coffee.
So they're different beans altogether.
They can be different beans, or it doesn't really matter what beans, but the way that they're roasted and the time that they're roasted is the differentiating factor. One, a darker roast, more flavor, more of a stronger taste. And so in addition to a roasting process, it's also a brewing process, and that was a vacuum cleaner machine that you referred to back there. And it's a great, I never heard it referred to that before. And basically what we're trying to do in a normal...
It's not made by Westinghouse, is it?
No, they're actually imported from Italy.
Really?
Yes, most all espresso machines are manufactured in Italy. And whereas a regular cup of coffee, water is dropped onto these grounds, as I described before, and it seeps through to extract the flavor. What the espresso machine does, in order to extract 10 times the flavor, is at very high pressure, it shoots steam through a very tightly packed cup of coffee and extracts 10, 15 times more of the flavor. So you're a much more creamy, heavier, stronger taste of coffee. And that's called an espresso.
You drink that straight?
I don't personally, but a lot of people do. The true, what we call them in our business, coffee heads, will drink straight double.
The true coffee heads.
Triple shots of this espresso because it gives them a very full-bodied, strong taste of coffee.
Now, are these machines unique to this area?
These machines basically are unique to Italy. That's where most of them are put together. And then there are
I've never had iced coffee.
Importers in this country, and you'll find more of them in San Francisco, Seattle, the West Coast, and you can find them in the area here, but they're not in Seattle. Any restaurant you go into, even a hot dog stand, you'll see gas station. Gas stations have espresso machines
next to the soda machines.
That's right, exactly right. And but out here, it's quite an unusual thing.
Unless the only time I ever have any iced coffee is if I'm hunting trad girls.
To make this fine shot of espresso, we can be enhanced by adding steamed milk to it. And steamed milk added to it...
You call it a shot. How intoxicating is it?
Well, it's not intoxicating, but delicious. It actually is 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of concentrated coffee is what it is. And you add it to steamed milk and voila, a cappuccino. As we all know what a cappuccino is.
No, I never
basically,
have.
the use of this.
I've never had iced coffee of any kind before.
Steamed milk is the average person, if they drank one of those shots that you saw there, would probably go and make a face like that because it would be too strong for what they're accustomed to. Mm-hmm. So we dilute that and with the steamed milk. We steam milk, we put cream in there, we use Italian flavorings. We're going to show you a little bit later.
This is like how I have my weed, and then I have weed that I would like offer someone if they came over.
So are those called dessert coffees?
They can't handle the cappuccino.
Some people, depending on what we put inside and add to the espresso, can really turn into be a dessert treat. We can put chocolate in there with cream.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with any of it. Like, if you want to do it and you like it, I don't personally Like, I can understand going and getting like a treat and getting something like that, but like just financially, like going like every day, like that's shit would add up like so fast. I mean, I say that as a weed smoker, but
Italian soda.
but even in a heavily taxed state, you can get an eighth for probably pretty close to what you would pay for like a fully loaded Starbucks.
Sodas, caramel, and
Based
really
on what
truly
I've
be a
seen.
dessert type coffee.
Now, when we talk about flavorings, I mean, are we like looking like a chocolate, like a hot chocolate, or do we have more extravagant flavorings?
Well, we have this
Jamaican Blue Mountain Roast.
Rani Italian syrup, which we use in a lot of our Italian sodas, which we have 20 flavors of.
Italian
but not only that,
sodas.
we
Okay, I'm
use
on board.
anisette syrup. We use chocolate mint syrup in coffees to change and give variations to your regular cup of coffee. So you use hazelnut. Everybody loves hazelnut in this area. And,
So essentially, by adding these flavors, the milk, to that stringent taste.
King, have you ever had that Chinese coffee, the four horse penis coffee?
Of coffee, it rounds it out so you have a very good tasting coffee taste.
It dilutes that strong coffee.
It dilutes the harshness away and really turns it into an experience. From a strong type of a face like this, we get very happy, smiling faces when they drink our specialty drinks of espresso.
Now, do I have to come here to buy a cup of coffee, or can I take this bag home with me?
Okay, well, we'd love you to take that back home with you, George, because a lot of our business and what we do, and you can see those bins back there, is to sell these beans in whole bean form to our customers. And
Now, how do they grind the beans at home?
Well, basically, we can grind it for them, but we would prefer to educate the customer to grind their own
How long
beans.
will it last once it's ground? If you grind it for them.
That's right. Once it's ground, it's going to deteriorate immediately, and after a day or two, you're going to lose most of its freshness if it's pre-ground. Unless you keep it in an airtight container, then maybe it'll last a week. But if we sell it to the customer in a whole bean form, keep the whole beans in an airtight container, it can last us several weeks.
So this whole aspect sets aside the theory, or the old canned theory of, well, let's see, a girl's favorite coffee drinker is someone who's tall, dark, and jittery. we don't deal with that here, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
First-class coffees, and I understand we have Mom working too?
Absolutely.
The whole family works.
It's a family affair, I'll tell you.
That's right. Sure is.
And what has she prepared for us?
Mom's prepared for us
What about coffee cakes?
of our specialty drinks.
Our specialty drinks.
What do we have
Well,
there?
Truly dessert.
That's a mocha.
That's a cafe mocha.
Oh, a cafe
That
mocha.
contains
Wow.
coffee.
That contains coffee.
This is
cafe latte,
Oh, look at the cup designs. Oh my God, I'm so old.
which is called espresso. This is espresso, chocolate, steamed milk, and whipped
coffee
cream.
sundae.
Coffee sundae. This is espresso, steamed milk, and this is a steamed milk with some of that Italian vanilla syrup in there. Why don't you try a sip of that?
Wow, hey. Quite good, even for a non-coffee drinker.
That's right, exactly.
It's almost like a warmed milkshake.
That's exactly right. That's it
Great
with flavor in it.
Well, Art, thanks for being here
All right, thank you,
on the big
George.
program.
Great
And you're
segment.
welcome back anytime. Hey, we'll be back with more prime time right after this.
Man, was this the same one as the wood segment? No, that was last episode. Man, these have been back to these last two episodes have been
We're
great.
going to finish up this coffee milkshake.
Just want my one cup of coffee. One cup of coffee. One cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
No milk, no sugar.
It's like a Jimmy song, just one lyric repeated.
The animals in the forest. If they could talk, what would they say? They might say, be careful with fire in the forest. Just like Smokey says, only you can prevent forest fires.
Welcome back to Primetime, where it's so quiet you can hear a crane drop. But hey, it's that time of the program again. It's time for the entertainers and something called I Only Have Eyes for You.
Yeah, it was just a joke, King. The 4-horse penis thing is a wine, not a coffee, as far as I know.
Down are the stars out tonight. I don't know if it's cloudy or bright. When I only have eyes for you. The moon may be high,
New crowd footage, Dale Earnhardt.
but I can't see a thing in the sky. When I only have
This is probably like realistically, I bet this family, like, this was like a good memory for them, and they've probably like completely forgotten about it and have like no idea that this like that part of their lives is like enshrined in, like, you know, history thanks to George Dorunda.
for you.
For you.
I don't know if we're in a
What a great version of this song.
or on a crowded avenue.
You all right, King?
Now you are here, so am I. Maybe billions and billions and billions of people, Carl Sagan, go by, but they all.
Hey, Russell Plunge, we actually watch that stuff on here every once in a while. I did an entire episode on these one people posted. I think it was like their graduation weekend video or something like that, and we watched like the entire thing.
Disappear.
Just reviewing random people's lives online.
From view.
Man, imagine making your top girl squirt during a George Dorunda song.
When I
Hey, Joe Shabatoni.
for you. Play it, Joe.
The algorithm also gives me like a lot of like really videos that people post just like to have a place to store them. Like that one guy that filmed his girlfriend when he was kicking her out. Like that was a crazy video, but it was so good. Okay, Get Crack, what's sicko about wanting to slow pump your girl to satisfaction to a smooth George Dorunda tune? Hey Joe, were you here earlier when Hormaxer was here? I thought it was so funny that Hormaxer was here during a primetime stream. What a song. He'd be like, hey, babe, take it easy. Let's take it slow. Let's put on some Dorunda. And she's just like, Blasting off, busting nuts.
I don't know if we're in a garden or on.
Yeah, he said that he told me that I spoke well, and that he didn't know that I think he thought that I was just like like an anonymous clipper type character. He said I should come on his panel sometime. I actually don't know anything about it, and I didn't look anything up. I'm gonna wait till I'm like I don't care like if you guys look it up and talk about it in chat, but like I didn't look too much into it because I'm convinced George is never gonna like want to talk about the show, so I'm trying to just like forget all the questions I have about it. But I also want to know how often it aired, because there are not enough episodes for this to be a weekly show. It looked like in 1991 there were 15 episodes. So I'd be interested in the entire story behind, like, how did it air? Did he pay to have it put on? Is that why there's only an episode like every so often? Instant slip and slide, yep.
So am I.
This is the kind of music you got to put a pillow under her ass so you can get that extra, just that little bit of extra leverage to really drive it home.
Maybe billions and billions and billions of people gone by, but they're all.
Oh, I love that. I thought that was a great conversation. It's always interesting to me when people talk about like what they like in content, or like what draws them to content.
Disappear from view. When I only have eyes for.
No, not George. Hormaxer. George Dorunda hasn't answered any of my inquiries about the show at all. Unfortunately.
You.
Yes, that was the entertainers, and we have to go. We'll be back next time with more wacky primetime antics. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See, BB gets it. She's even got talking about the wedge pillow. I mean, I would like to buy it. I don't know how old George is. I mean, he's got to be at least, what, like 20 years older than me, probably. So, like, at least if he sold it to me, I could keep it alive and active for, hopefully, like, you know, at least a few more years. Hey, Randy. Again, I just want to say, because we really do, Center Stage is one of the bands on this show that I think kind of gets overlooked, but this version of Love Shack really elevated them to like the tip top of the heap, in my opinion. god, I'm gonna be so depressed on that last episode when like the last few notes of the primetime theme hit. Oh my god, how depressing. Okay, we've got ATF Media. Who is Michelle Lafong? Then we've got Reflection, great. Entertainers, great. And we're back to the Atkins Fruit Bowl. I mean, it's easy to find interesting stuff to watch. It's super difficult, though, to find something with this level of, like, dedication behind it. You know what I mean? A lot of the other stuff that has longevity is stuff that's not nearly this entertaining, like tent revivals and stuff like that. We're not quite to halfway, but we're closing in.
From Atkins Fruit Bowl's Polish Fest.
Yeah, he reviewed Killer Kowalski. I think if you want to go back and see that one, I think it's in one of the very first, like maybe episode 2 or episode 3. And then George also has like an hour-long documentary or an hour-long episode where he just interviews George the Animal Steel, which is probably what we'll watch right after the very last episode to try to keep me dialed in.
Festival, it's Prime Time with George Dorunda. Tonight.
Oh, I'll do a big big video review of it when we're all done.
Comedian Michelle Lafong.
Oh, comedian.
Plus that great band Reflection. And the Entertainers. So get ready for the...
Oh, did you hear that sneak diss? He said that the great band Reflection and then the band the Entertainers.
Most entertaining show on television.
Hi, I'm George Dorunda, and welcome to Primetime. And you know, this...
Of course, I thought I was onto something, getting people to show me what was in those metal tubs, but Dorunda was doing it 30-some years ago.
Show by law really ought to be 2 shows. You know, this is the kind of show you're going to be telling your grandchildren about many, many, many years from now. And more than likely, they're going to be ignoring you. Well, anyway, we're here at Atkins. It's the fine Polish festival. And what better than Kielbasa and Reflection doing Get On Your Feet.
Oh, shit, y'all. Let's fucking go. I gotta turn up my audio on this. Do you think it would be tough to be Jeannie Wasung's boyfriend back then? Because obviously she's probably like the most popular musician in the Chicopee area. And probably all these guys are, you know, seeing her on this big popular TV show. And now she's out having to do the gigs. It'd be rough.
To have the things together.
Do you think she ever hit her boyfriend and was like, I could have any man I wanted? I'm Jeannie was sung. You better fall in line. Pow. Wow, what a great version. This guy's burning it. Come on, bro. Amazing. Oh my God, this is so good. I've got my Mike Chuddy, right? Savvy guy. I need my reflection. I've got to find a band to go along with this show. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What a performance from Jeannie.
Yes, that was Reflection and Get On Your Feet. And when we return, we'll have comedian Michelle Lafang plus more carrot cake.
Oh man, George even videotaped random old people doing karaoke. There is nothing left. George has salted the earth. There is no corner of content left for me to explore. Jesse Spano vibes, hell yeah. Showgirls is like one of my all-time favorite movies.
Clutter, cords, and carpet can trip you up. Take a few simple steps to make your home safer.
Oh my God, South to West. I just thought about Jeannie was singing conga. Oh my God.
For a free home safety checklist, call 1-800-882-2003.
My next guest has been on some of the greatest TV shows in the country. Don't ask me what she's doing here. Let's meet the outrageous Michelle Lafang.
The outrageous.
Hello.
Oh boy.
All right, Chickapee. Yes.
Oh boy.
It's a dream come true, I swear.
Oh boy.
I kid about Donahue, but anyone here watch this show? Yeah? What do the rest of you have, day jobs or something? You don't know what you're missing. This is a real educational show. And I mean that seriously, because one thing I learned, they dedicated an entire hour to where they now say you can tell everything about a man by the kind of car he drives. Anyone see this? Yes, they say that a car is an extension of a man's...
Ruby coated.
Goodies.
Do you think Ruby would record a stand-up routine for us? And could we get Ruby to do a custom video?
Hey, this really bothers me, because my ex-boyfriend didn't even own a car. And he could have used the extension, trust me.
I hate stand-up comedy, by the way. I don't understand it. I especially don't like modern stand-up comedy, but I'm not a big fan of stand-up comedy in general.
He gave missing in action a whole new meaning. See, this is why I am now at the point where I can actually look at a man and tell you what kind of car he should be driving. Pinto.
Wow, Pinto. For those of you who don't know, Pinto was a car that exploded when it got hit from the back.
Entenmann's truck. Close, you see? Hey, it never fails. Schwinn. Vet. Chevette.
Ford Fiesta.
And I heard you say you were Polish before. Only a Polish person would admit to that. No, you know, I dated a Polish guy. Well, he wasn't all Polish. He was half Italian, half Polish. Vito Kilbasi. This guy pulled up in a white Eldorado, you know, with those dark tinted windows. Only these were tinted so you could see in. You couldn't see out at all. Unbelievable. He couldn't understand why he kept crashing all the time. I end up with these men.
Well, Michelle, welcome to Prime
Ooh,
Time.
thank God.
It's
Hello.
wonderful to have you here and at the Comedy Outlet.
Thank you.
Wave to all the Primetime fans. Can we?
Now I like Tony Clifton, but he's more of like a lounge singer, not really like a stand-up thing.
Get one of your characters in here.
Which one would you like? Oh, sure.
Oh,
Sure, darling. Oh, please.
well, that's the whole idea. It's a talk show, and we're supposed to talk.
Boy, it's glad to see you dressed up for this. Oh, please. You
Oh
don't know.
God! Oh, this is what it's all about. We're here at Primetime, and you just recently returned from Australia, I understand.
Yes, I did.
What a liar.
It's wild there. I think they found me a little bit much.
Did you need a translator?
Pretty much, yeah. They have a different language than we do. As a matter of fact, I get off the plane, the first thing, some guy comes up to me, he goes, "Excuse me," because that's the way they all talk there. "Excuse me, you know who you look like?" And I'm thinking, Valerie Bertinelli? He says, "Ethel Merman." Gee, thanks, you charmer.
And then you went into her voice.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what it is. All my life, I wanted to be this really cool pop rock singer, but no matter what song I sang, I sounded like Ethel Merman. You know, you don't sound cool.
Did you ever sing with a band?
Yeah, I did. They kicked me out, you know, because that's I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down. Want to hire me?
I don't know. We'll have to give you an audition with the Entertainers.
Yeah, well, you know, they paid me to stop.
Oh,
I
my
made
God.
out like a bandit.
Is that the routine when they applaud?
Yeah,
They're
pretty much.
glad it's over.
Exactly. I got a standing ovation, only they were walking while they were standing.
And did they appreciate your singing in Australia?
I'm afraid not.
So you got the same reaction you do here?
Yeah, it's just about. Australia will never be the same since Michelle Lafang. Thank you very much. Then they didn't understand that name I have. You know, people don't understand. Why don't you change your name? People say, Lafang. What kind of a name is that? Yeah, I love my name.
What's wrong with Lafang?
I know, exactly.
No, you're a French...
Yeah, I'm French and Jewish.
French and Jewish?
Yes, pretty good, huh?
That's a heavy-hitting combination in itself.
Exactly. It means I like to kiss, but I want to get paid for it.
Oh, that really got George's attention. He's like, "Oh, wait, that's on the table?"
They're just coming in.
Big business.
Exactly. I like my name, and I'm never going to change it. Even if I get married, my name will always be Michelle Lafang, whatever.
Whatever.
Exactly.
No matter what the option.
Well, it kind of limits who you can marry, though, if you think about it. Like, I could never marry Elliot Gould. Could you imagine that? My name would be Michelle Lafang. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Not, no. You got to think ahead. I think it's important.
I understand you opened for Phyllis Diller.
Oh, yeah, that was an experience in itself.
What kind of a trip was that?
I'll tell you, it was really funny. Right before the show starts, the guy running the show, of course, he's all nervous because...
George is like, "Hey, you know, a lot of the performers that have come on Primetime have had very successful careers afterward.
This is Harvard at Grace, Maryland, you know, and this is the big event there.
Listen, I know a place we can get some free fudge.
So he's all nervous. He comes up to me and he tells me, okay, you're going to open for her. And he tells me how to get to the stage. But you know how, like, someone's giving you directions, but you're not quite listening because you're, like, looking at the pimple on their face or something, you know? And you figure, I'll figure out how to get to the stage. What's so hard? Well, he's out there introducing me. And I'm going, oh my God, I have no idea how to get to the stage. I'm backstage. I don't know what to do. And he had told me, no matter what you do not go through the split of the curtain because they have a surprise set.
This is what Trump's playing down at the El Salvadoran prisons.
For her when she comes out and they don't want anyone to see it. But I have no idea how to get, there's no one to ask. It's like being lost in Connecticut. You know what I mean?
And we know how painful that can be.
Exactly. You got no one to ask. Anyway, he's announcing me, and I've run out of time. So I just figured, okay, I'm going to go through the curtain, even though he told me not to.
You have no choice.
Exactly. Well, I couldn't find the split in the curtain, you know? So now they hear my name being introduced, and they see this. From behind, you see these protrusions, you know, and then all of a sudden, I get the split, I see where the split is, and I go through, and the audience is like really laughing at me, you know, not with me, at me, you know, and I start doing a 5-minute routine on the truth. What a fool I feel like, here I am.
Well, I'm sure you can work in a lot of real-life experiences into your routines.
I guess so, but at the time, it didn't feel very humorous. I was dying.
George is the pilot that's absolutely refusing to hit the eject button, and I mean the plane is like just careening toward like a jungle, and he just refuses to bail.
You know, it was the most embarrassing thing. You know, you feel like such a fool. But it's good because it takes your mind off what you're going to talk about, that's for sure.
It can sidetrack you. Have you ever come face to face with any people that you impersonate?
I'm afraid so. You, for one.
Uh-oh. I've never heard you do me.
Exactly. And you're not going to either. Because
Wow,
I want to work again. But you'll hear about it, I'm sure.
I'll hear about it through the showbiz grapevine.
Exactly.
Grapevine,
Grapevine, exactly.
It's early. It's too early. It's too early. Why are we doing this early?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't think myself.
Only
That's
because
unusual.
we're both crazy.
Now, you know what I think it is? Whenever I have PMS, people schedule me at this hour. I don't know why. But it's a conspiracy.
We'll leave our personal problems at home.
Deal with it. Men have it so easy, I'm telling you.
You think so, huh?
I definitely think so. That's why it's up to us women to punish you.
Am I being punished now?
Not yet, but you have something to look forward to.
Tonight.
Oh, man, what a... Wow.
An optimist, I like it. I just crack you up.
Absolutely.
This is my generation's Vietnam.
Absolutely, but that's your job.
Yeah, well.
Now, do you have any kind of a personal life?
I beg your pardon. Can you be a little more blunt?
I mean, you're on the road 52 weeks a year. You're traveling not only across the country,
God,
but
am I
around
successful?
the world.
Boy, am I successful listening
Is
to
that
you.
Is that how you measure your success? The farther you travel away from home?
No, that's how my parents measure their success. You know, the farther away she is, the better. They're happy people now. They live with peace.
That
Yes.
you've come to Chicopee.
That's it, exactly. I'm not lonely at all, actually. See, I used to have
I'm not lonely at all, actually.
problems, but, you know, I'm into younger men.
Do you guys remember when that the Governor Cuomo got in that big scandal, and it came out that he was like being inappropriate with his interns or whatever, but he wasn't. He was doing it in like such a depressing way, and he was like telling them like, "I'm so lonely."
I used to cruise public schools. It was someone like
Why are you into younger men?
Well, it's sort of like a fetal attraction, I guess. I don't know. It's just a thing with me, yeah. And
Wow.
I'll tell you the truth. I have found the ultimate relationship, the dating answer for the single woman's answer to dating in the 90s.
What is that?
A puppet.
A puppet?
Yeah, his name is Paco.
Can we get a little more exciting than a puppet?
Get to the
Oh,
puppet.
he's pretty exciting.
He
You
is
haven't
pretty
seen him.
exciting.
He has hair on his chest. You know, less now because I got a little rough with him.
Oh, a macho puppet.
You got it. He's a macho, and the best part about him is when I'm sick of him, he goes back in the box. You know, but he is just like, the rapport we have is just amazing. It's like I think of something, he says it. It's just, we're on the same
You're on the same wavelength.
Yes,
exactly.
Now you got
Well, now wait a minute. We're starting to repeat each other.
it's
it's
no,
getting
you're
scary.
repeating me. That's it. And you think you're talking. That's what cracks me up. He thinks he's...
I have to say, I would love to see an in-person discussion between Ben Thorpe and this woman.
talking too.
Uh-oh. Am I going to become part of the show?
You already are. God, wise up. Wake up and smell the coffee.
Only I can't sit on your knee.
You got that right. Because I'm Jewish also. It's my obligation. It's the only Jewish thing I do.
Oh.
And I do it religiously.
Is there any other way to do it?
I'm afraid not. Jacoby and Myers, hello, if you're out there, help!
Tell us about Las Vegas.
Oh my God!
Some of
He's
your
going to
world
keep prompting her.
Travels.
Las Vegas. I was doing the Riviera in Las Vegas, a topless dance review. Boy, were my parents proud of me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, they paid me extra to keep mine on. Thank you very much. I was the only one. I was the only one who actually was dressed during this whole fiasco. And
So you weren't dressed for the occasion?
oh, no. Oh, God. No. So anyway, I come out, and I'm supposed to host this masquerade, and it just was...
I mean, we've circled from like cringe to boredom to sheer horror into like surreality. Now it's just like, what a ride this lady's interview's been.
It was the type of show you could not bring your parents to, you know? It was like, it opened up with, well, I don't know how to put it.
I don't.
Frankly.
You have a way with words.
Yeah, I do, don't I? I always get in trouble, too. Let's just say it was a little obscene, okay? So, anyway, I'm doing, like, my characters and stuff like that, and I'm doing 3 shows a night, and one...
You got to give it to George. It's like that meme where it shows the guy in the cave and like he's like giving up with his pickaxe, but like the diamonds are right at like there's just a little bit of dirt left and he would have made it to the diamonds. George is willing to go through the entire network to get to those diamonds. You got to appreciate that.
One night, I thought it was just like any other night. I come out, and I get no response from the audience. There's 700 people in the audience, no response. And we have a full house. And I go backstage, and I'm thinking, am I on candid camera? What's the deal? You know, how is this possible? How could there be 700 people and no response? I mean, I just don't understand it. And the girls are cracking up. And I'm like, what's going on? And they go, you don't know, huh? The light's in your face, you can't see. They're all Japanese. No one speaks English.
And they don't know any of these characters?
No, they didn't understand one thing that I
You'll never believe it, George. The entire audience was Japanese.
said, not one thing, you know? They were like, whoa, take your clothes off, you know?
Let's get right to the...
We came to say, you know, what are you doing? We don't want to hear you.
Okay, I think we have to give George another pioneering. He has the same technique Ben is able to do, which is to bait people into a sense of comfort and then just let them hang themselves with the stuff they say.
Speak, you know, and it just was a weird experience. And then another night, I'm doing my Bette Midler. I'm in full costume, and there I had like a wig cap on and Bette Midler wig and the whole thing. And I'm doing this long involved piece up on stage. It's going great. And then someone from behind the curtain says, don't go off stage right, the curtain's broken, go off stage left. And I can't hear what he's saying. So I keep backing up to the curtain to hear what he's saying while I'm talking. So I break my concentration finally, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. How unusual for me.
Well, I have that problem too. You know, sometimes I just keep hearing that voice, and it keeps continuing and
We didn't
continuing and
notice
continuing.
that, George. We
And
didn't.
continuing. And I say, that voice sounds familiar. I say, oh, it's me.
Scary, isn't it? So anyway, here I am, totally lost. And I just said, I'm lost. You know that, I'm lost, you know. And they laughed. They thought I'm kidding. You know, and I go, no, you don't understand. You know,
You're lost.
Totally lost. I'm stalling. I'm trying. I've never gone completely blank in my entire life on stage like that. It's almost like being out on a ledge. And you look down for the first time and you go like, oh, I'm out on a ledge. And this night was particularly important because the owner of the hotel was there with Pia Zadora to decide whether to give me a 2 years contract or not. So, I mean, out of all nights, this was
This
the
was
thing.
your big night?
Yeah, exactly. And it was going so good up until that point. So now here I am, again stalling. The audience is laughing. Now they're getting a little suspicious, but they're still with me. Now someone from behind the curtain, after doing 3 shows with me, every single night, cues my line. So I'm like, oh, and so I'm so relieved that I know my line that I lean my head forward and my wig comes flying off.
Oh, wow.
And there I am, bald in front of 700 people. You know how weird that looks?
And then you got the contract.
No, that's not the end of it because the wig didn't just fly off.
No, it's
it was
not
one
the
of
end
those
of it,
where it
guys.
just tumbles.
Yeah.
You know, it was a PMS day. You know, it just tumbles and tumbles, and I almost caught it, but I didn't, and it fell right in the front row. So I was like, "Give me back my hair," you know. And so they threw my hair back at me, and. You know, the audience now is hysterical, but they don't know if they just caught a moment or this is part of the show. So I grabbed the wig and
She got it. She's basically the Brian Pillman of obscene stage art. The audience, everybody's being worked, and they don't know it.
I go, a quick impression before I go, Madonna. And because I did that, everyone was certain that this was part of the show. And when I got backstage, I'm shaking like a leaf because I'm real cool when things happen, and then afterwards I'm in shock. And that's what happened. It's like, I'm like this. I just can't believe what I just went through out there. And the adrenaline is still there. And the owner of the show comes over to me and he says, you know, you got a lot of nerve. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? He says, you wait till the owner of the hotel is here before you give your best piece. He goes, you're doing that every show from now on. I said, what are you, crazy? That was an accident. I'm never doing that again. I says, I'm too vain to be bald. You know, there's no way. A full face of makeup and a wig cap. I mean, it was bizarre. So that's my Vegas
That's your Vegas version of the act.
And then the show was sold to Japan, out of all things. It was sold to Japan, and they didn't need anyone who spoke English, especially who wasn't topless, to be hosting the show.
And those are the big breaks
and this is how
in
I
showbiz.
end up in Chicopee.
And Chicopee.
This is it, yes.
So, Michelle, you're telling me I remind you of Bob Costas, huh?
Oh, yes.
Bob Costas.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Your interviewing style is just like his. And I mean that with love.
I wouldn't think that, but then again, that's your opinion.
No,
that's what,
I really.
Oh my God!
World famous
Wow.
performer.
This is absolutely off the rails. I'm going to be honest with you. However you feel about her, this is an incredibly unique primetime interview.
With love.
Exactly. Chicopee!
Thanks, Michelle, for being here. It was certainly a lot of fun. And stick around. We'll be back with more primetime fun right after this.
That's all, folks.
Dorunda did it first. He posted this even before ZXV. He posted the scandalous images of his enemies. Wow. When he laughed in her face, I honestly was like, what, like, I thought anything could happen in that moment. I thought maybe he was finally gonna snap.
Why do people watch primetime? Well, poor reception of other channels comes to mind. But more importantly, it's because the entertainers, yes, they're here right now to perform Come Go With Me.
I think we've seen this one too. Hey, Story Weaver Steve.
Come and go with me, baby. Baby, I can see I need you, darling. So come with me. Come to my hotel, darling.
What a tense interview that was.
So come with me. Whoa. Well, yes, I need you. Yes, I really need you. Please tell me.
Your interview style is, well, okay, that's your opinion. And then that crazy laugh, that was amazing.
Yes, you really never. You know you give me a chance. Well, come into my hotel, darling. We'll never.
Yeah, I think this is the second one that he's recycled recently.
I need you, darling. So come with me.
The people doing the do-si-do.
Well, yes, I need you. Yes, I really need you. Please tell me that you need me. Well, please say you never. Yes, you really never. You give me a chance. Well, come into my hotel, darling. We'll never buy. I need you, darling. So come with me. Whoa, well, dum 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 be doo be dum 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 be doo be dum 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 be doo be dum. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, dum 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 be doo be dum 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 be doo be dum 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 be doo be dum. Whoa, dum 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 be doo.
Yeah, the Joker laugh was nuts. What do you guys want to watch? We got like we can watch something short. We could watch a Bethadone or a Savvy Guy, something like that. A short Tony Yomay.
Yes, we've had too much fun here at the Atkins Polish Festival. I'm gonna keep on eating. Good night, everybody.
Oh yeah, the sax guy's great. Episode 22 collection. I don't know I don't know for sure. Jack Sparko. Thanks to Chet Dragon. There's me. All right, let's see. Car questions. Car questions. Episode 22. Flex 'em. Yeah, here we go. Well, I'll be right back.
Hey babes, welcome back to Car Questions. This week I have Mama Flexum with me, and we're going to be answering some questions about her and us that you guys sent in. So yeah, first question is, do you two look alike? I mean, yeah. I think I'm a pretty good mix of you and Dad, probably. I think so. Yeah, but yes we do. And she's the older sister. Right?
I'll take that.
Yeah. What is your favorite hobby?
Gardening.
Gardening. Yeah.
I like to garden. Edible gardening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll only do the fun gardening with me when I visit.
That's right. That's right.
One of the questions for me was, what is the time that you have embarrassed me? And honestly, the only thing I can think of goes along with one of the other questions. Do you have any hidden talents? Would you like to share that with the group?
There was something called my special
So Flexum and her mom streaming together?
purpose. When Ashley was a tot, and we would draw or put like googly eyes on my chin and make eyebrows, and I would flip upside down and cover, from my nose up, so I'm upside down and my chin looks like a mouth, and I would sing songs, and
for some reason that just did it for me. Like, I don't know why.
I did it at a RV parking lot or RV campground, like laying out the steps of the RV, and other people gathered around. Yeah, I've done a few things like that.
Now it's great, but back then, for some reason, that really, yeah. What is something you love doing together?
Do I think that her mom knows this content? Gee, I wonder. I wonder if her mom knows what's up.
I would say probably doing our cooking classes when I visit.
Yeah, cooking classes are definitely, and just spending time doing nothing sometimes.
Yeah, it's nice to I love parallel play, as you guys know from a lot of my
Oh my gosh, Joe Shabatoni, man, that just lit up my cerebral cortex. Parallel play.
Same room, we can chat when we need to, but like doing
But
separate
you can
things.
do your own thing,
Yep.
and you don't feel obligated to. You don't feel obligated to carry on conversation or to do activities unless you both go, hey, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and lift this up a little bit, just in case it's a little wonky. Okay. Next question. For me, it said, did your mother have a strict rule that you would always break? I think the only thing I ever did semi-consistently was watch Rugrats with my friends.
I hate Rugrats. I still hate Rugrats. I think they're bratty kids, and I didn't want my kids to be brats, so I didn't want them to watch Rugrats.
Yeah, so we weren't allowed to watch Rugrats at home.
I'm not really a foot person either, but I do think this is definitely a niche on Boyd, and this video actually really, like, I think this really elevates Flexum. I mean, she's definitely has like diverse content.
Home, but I definitely did at my friend's house any chance I got.
And I can't control other homes, so there you go.
Let's see, next question. Who is more social? I would say you, in general. Maybe not as much lately, because people.
In general. In general, yes. I would say extroverted, introvert.
You hate feet.
Extrovert on purpose for work and for business, but I'm really an introvert.
Let's see. What is one dish that you make better than anyone? And I would say your chicken chili.
Okay, yep.
For sure.
White bean chicken chili.
And although I'm a wuss for spicy stuff and only have tasted it one time, everyone loves your salsa. So
Because my Latina ex-sister-in-law taught me how to make it really well, and most people, if a
One thing that my Latina ex-sister-in-law had told me was
native Latina or Latino or Mexican, anybody not from the U.S. who likes spicy salsa has it. They typically are like,
stamp of
"You
approval."
made this?" Yeah.
Gringa. Craziest adventure you've gone on together. I had to think about this one a little bit because I feel like the only solo trip we've done was Vegas, and that was.
You think they met up at
That was a
Jedi
wild
Ridge?
night. I went to bed. She went out partying all night.
And I
Oh,
get
wow.
a text, a call at like 5:30 in the morning.
She didn't come back to the room.
I never went back to the room because me and all of my girlfriends had stayed out all night, and we were sitting in the hotel having breakfast at 5:30 a.m. And Ashley woke up and I wasn't there.
I was worried.
And
I think your phone was dead. I think I had to call through.
oh,
for
you
your
had to call a
friend.
friend's
Yep.
phone, yeah. And we had been drinking, we had been partying. I
Put some
danced.
stickers on some guy's body.
I danced with some street dancer guy. That embarrassed you, actually. I think you were slightly embarrassed by that when you saw the
From the
video
sticker?
footage later.
Maybe.
You kind of, I guess I did anyway, expected the daughter to be more like outgoing in this, and she was probably more familiar with streaming and, you know, YouTube and stuff, but the mom is definitely carrying.
Maybe a titch.
I think I was more like just worried.
Yeah.
I was like, she didn't come back.
It was fun. I can't do those late nights anymore.
And last question of the day.
We'll see about that.
It says, is your mother proud of you? And I think this is people who are worried that you and Dad might not be proud of some of the online work I do.
No, I think that you're, doing what you find value in and enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think as long as you like doing it and it's
Perfect for Horror
a
Maxer.
little bit of income and it's safe
Oh my
overall,
God. This cat is
that's all
nuts.
Mom's worried about.
Perfect. Well, that is all the questions for today. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for our Puff Pastry Pass episode. That'll be out in a few days.
Puff pastry episode. We'll have to revisit for that. All right, let's close with our Chuddy. Let's see if he's got any new videos up. That was a good recommendation, Joe. Good plug-in length. All good content. Foot streaming is trad. They weren't foot streaming. That's just if you're a pervert. Oh boy, here we go. 1.2K views 21 hours ago. Your mindset is why you experience bad things in life. Just get yourself. I don't want an upbeat one. I want a depressing savvy guy.
What's going on now, guys? Back at you guys with another presentation. And I was just thinking to myself, guys, it's another lovely day, guys. Today's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, April the 9th. April the 9th. Look how fast April creeping on by us, guys. Like I say, time flies. Days are flying. April just cruising on by. April 9th already. But I want to talk to you guys about, some people say that certain people experience certain things in their life because of their mindset or because of their attitude. I've heard people say, well, some people experience bad things in their life because of their attitude and because of their mindset. That's a lie, guys. Your attitude, your mindset, that doesn't really have anything to do with it, guys. The reason why some people experience a lot of pain and misery in life, guys, is because they're just not lucky. A lot of this stuff is out of certain people's control. That's like saying certain children who go to school and get bullied is because they're negative or they have a bad attitude or they're just pessimistic people. That's like saying that, you know. This world is a superficial place, guys. I know I stress that in every presentation, but I can't stress it enough. The world is a superficial place, and you have
Savvy Guy's got to hang in there. I have a feeling the summer is going to be really buck wild for Savvy Guy.
a lot of superficial people in this world.
He's gonna sip. He's got to sip and drink.
You know, people who experience a lot of pain and misery in life, they didn't ask for that. It's just the hand that they were dealt. It's the deck of cards they were dealt. You know, it's a beautiful day out here in Fayette County. But yeah,
savvy summer. Yep.
These kids who go to school and get bullied.
I really do. I believe. You ever see the stories of like back in the old like Dust Bowl days, there were people who could like put their ear to the ground and know when a tornado was coming. I just think this summer, I just have a feeling is going to be like lit for content.
You know, it's not because they got a bad attitude. Because some people like to blame everything on
like hot shotting the territory level craziness.
Mindset and attitude. Your mindset and your attitude is shaped by your life experiences. So when you have people talking about, oh, they got a negative mindset or they got a negative outlook on things, well, what a lot of people fail to realize is that a person's mindset and their outlook...
Rise of the incel.
A person's mindset, their outlook on life, their attitude, whatever you want to call it, a lot of that's shaped by their experiences. The attitude that a person has towards life, the attitude that a person has towards themselves, all of that's shaped by life experience. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of that's shaped by life experience. And I mean, it's the truth when you think about it. I mean, no one wants to walk around pessimistic. No one wants to walk around with a bad attitude. But, you know, it's the circumstances in life that cause people to be the way that they are, you know? You know, no one comes into the world with a bad attitude.
I love always has the comfort soda.
You know, it's just circumstances in life that make people the way that they are.
What do you think he's drinking? What do you think's in his sippy cup?
You know, this is why I don't like when people say, you know, oh, you're just negative. You know, I mean, when people say you're just negative, that's a shaming tactic because it's a lot of people in the world. If you really look at the world and if you really look at society, guys, this society, this world that we live in celebrates negative people.
True.
You know, this world celebrates negative people. I'm sure you guys can relate to what I'm saying.
Where's
the world celebrates negative people.
What's that say, Staples?
The world definitely celebrates negative people because look at the people who were evil in you know, who went down in history. People who were evil and just corrupted, and you know, people honor these people, people love these people, people respect these people. So when people say that,
you think he's got Sprite in there?
Oh man, you're just a negative person, or you know, your outlook on life is negative. That's a shaming tactic because there are a lot of negative people, evil people who are respected, and a lot of these people go down in history to be some of the greatest people ever. People worship these evil people. So don't let people try to gaslight you to make you think, oh, your mindset is negative or your outlook is negative. Those are all gaslighting strategies to deny the fact. See, when people try to hit you with a roadblock, or when people try to tell you, oh no, it's your mindset, man, it's your way of looking at things.
Hey, ATF.
That is a gaslighting strategy, and you got to know when you're being gaslit by people. You know, when someone tell you, oh, you know, you just got to change your outlook on things, you got to change your mindset, not realizing that your mindset is shaped by your experiences.
See, we're gonna find out what's in the sipping cup.
Because one thing I had to understand in life is that this world, this society that we live in, celebrates negative people. The world celebrates negative people.
True.
True. This world that we live in is not a positive place.
Definitely
And
not.
you got a lot of negative people out here. So when people tell you, oh man, the reason why you're experiencing all the turmoil you're experiencing, or the reason why you've been through the thing.
I always liked the phones that like had the that like slid open and then had like the full keyboard. Those were always my favorite of the old school phones.
Things you've been through is because of your attitude and mindset. That's nothing more than a gaslighting strategy. You know, and people who say those types of things are really insensitive people, because when you look around at people who lived wicked and demonic kind of lives, and when you look at the respect.
Well, he was in a good mood, and then he went to the Staples, and apparently it really soured his outlook.
And honor that these people have gotten.
Which is awful, because he said it's a beautiful day in Fayette County, so he should be like he should be soaking it in, and instead he's feeling negative again.
I'll tell you something. You know, when you have so many wicked and evil people who go down in history as some of the greatest people, people respect these people like they're gods. So don't let people gaslight you guys. Don't let people make you think that, you know, the misfortunes that you've experienced in your life, or don't let people make you think that your mind.
Imagine him standing on like the floor of the Senate delivering like a big filibuster speech. And he's like, you know, I wish someone had told me in my 20s how a bill was formed.
Mindset of your outlook on life is because you're negative. Because some people will say that, oh, you just negative. No, you ain't negative. You're not negative. It's all about your experiences in life. And a person's mindset is shaped by their life experiences. And when people say, oh, you know, the reason why you have the reality you have is because of your way of thinking. No, that's a gaslighting tactic. It's not your way of thinking to why your reality is the way it is. It's just the hand you were dealt. The world is a superficial place.
Hang on a second. More sipping cup content.
That's what you guys got to remember. The world is just a superficial place, and people are evil. You know, the people that are telling you that your mindset is why you have the reality you have, and your attitude is the reason why you have the reality you have, those are the people who are really evil. Those are the people who are really negative. So before I end this quick little presentation on this beautiful Wednesday evening, just remember what I said. The people who telling you that your mindset need to change, the people who telling you that you negative, they really the ones that's negative. But you guys have a great day. Happy Wednesday. I'll talk to you soon.
You know what's scary about this, though, is that ever since he recorded this video, we haven't heard from Savvy Guy. How to sharpen an axe. Okay, yeah, here we go. We'll close with this one.
I'm going to show you how I sharpen and care for my axes. So I have two main axes that I use. This is the Fiskars X25 and this is the Helco Saxon. I'm going to use a sharpening stone. First thing you're going to do is take your sharpening stone and put it in some water. I sometimes honestly just use the melted cooler water. So now that that's wet, what you're going to do, I'll show you on this one first. You take the stone. Obviously the coarse side is going to take off more metal, and the finer side is what I prefer to use. So take your axe and line it up. When you look closely, you'll see a black line. If you see a black line, that's not right. See how it's like that? Now there's no shadow. That's right. And you just move it. And as the axe curves, you want to curve with it. So pay close attention to making sure that you do not see, you know, that black shadow.
No
that
shadow.
shows any sort of gap. So keep going until you did the same amount that you did to the other side. Now I'm going to show you how I take care of the axes. So for both axes, I use axe head oil. The axe head oil basically prevents corrosion, and it just protects the metal, and you know, it allows for an easy glide into the wood. So I normally just put a couple drops. I normally just actually unseal it first and then put a couple drops. I like to keep this thing because the oil will leak out so quickly if you don't have that on there. Alright, so. And I use a microfiber towel and just, you know, spread it, all that oil on there. Be careful when you're going over the head. When you're oiling the head, nope, that sounded worse. Anyway, right, so flip it, do the same thing. Make sure it's all covered in oil. You want to prevent the corrosion, especially an axe like this. Yeah, and that's it. I'm going to do the same thing to this one, but there's something different. So when you have a real axe with a wood handle, you're going to want to care for the wood as well. Linseed oil, that doesn't look right at all. Okay. So just make sure it's nice and oily, but not too oily, you know. Before I put the Helco axe away, I cover it with the sheath, you know, for added protection. So before I use a real sharpening stone, I actually had this cheap Fiskars one that you just try to put it on the screen so you know what I'm talking about, and that one was okay, you know, if you just need a quick fix, but then I left it on the ground and it got torn up by the lawnmower. If you have any more suggestions on things you like to see, feel free to let me know down below.
Get Cracked, do you have any suggestions on what else you might like to see? Let's watch one axe cutting video. Oh, and there's Jimmy. It's gonna go from Gia Armani to Jimmy. Oh, look at that. Boom. Wow. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. Oh my God, wow. All right, well, listen. Well, Lalo, dude, no way would Lalo dare to try to touch those thighs. All right, well, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow for Memphis Wrestling. But thank you for an incredible run of primetime today. Whew. All right, that's Gia Armani again. Great content. Great content. All right.